Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Ray Fisher Stadium here in Ann Arbor, Michigan. You're tuned into WCBN Sports' coverage of Michigan baseball as they take on perhaps the best mascot in college sports, the Dirtbags of Long Beach State, in the second game of this three-game non-conference series here at the end of April. And I'm TJ Fossmeyer. Alongside me here in the booth is Zach Edwards in this one, and Michigan's looking to continue their dominance. They had a great game yesterday, and Zach, I know you were there for that, so give us a recap of what went down yesterday.
Yeah, I mean, it was a close game through the first 6 innings or so. It was 3-2 going through those 6 innings, and then in the 7th, a bombshell by Joe Longo kind of opened up the scoring again for Michigan, which was great. And then going into the bottom of the 10th, Michigan scored 10 runs and kind of just sealed their fate from there. Bunch of singles, bunch of 2 RBI singles, got it started, and then Cole Caruso had a grand slam to really just settle the deal there, and that was pretty much it. So Michigan able to get the first game of this kind of out-of-place non-conference series, as it's kind of a break for both teams from their conference games, but nonetheless, we're here on Saturday seeing if Michigan can do it again. Yeah, no, it's a beautiful day for baseball here, and we'll get underway here in a bit. Michigan takes the field with Chase Allen, the 6'6" righty. Will take the mound with Brock Lightgieb sharing the battery. Then we have Joe Longo at first, Mac Timbrook at second, Kyle Darnetti at short, Cole Caruso at third at the hot corner, and then from left to right in the outfield is Bradley Navarro, AJ Garcia, and Steven Hrustich. So we will get underway. The Michigan Wolverines wearing cream color, all high socks. A very good look for the Wolverines. Indeed. And the Dirtbags are wearing the all black. I'm going to have a lot of fun with that nickname in this one. And Chase Allen, again, like you said, getting the start here today, has kind of had a couple off seasons here in his junior and senior year after a really good sophomore year, but looking to pick up a little bit here in kind of this Saturday, middle of the weekend game, sitting right about the 7.78 ERA point on the season. But again, looking to get a good start here against the Dirtbags.
Yeah, I can't agree with you more there. And he fills both that bullpen and that starting role, so he gets to start in this one. And I think for this, it's a unique series in this one. It's a non-conference in the middle of April. You know, as you get into the dog days of the Big Ten gauntlet of a schedule that it is the conference as far as baseball goes, and you can get creative. You know, we see Joe Longo at first. That's not normally his spot. We see Bradley Navarro in left, and Mitch Voigt, taking an off day in this one. Much deserved. He's been very good this season, both ways. I know he just got on the award watch list for the best two-way player in the nation, along with Will Rogers. So that just shows the depth and versatility of this team. So we are about to get underway. We will run you through the Dirtbag lineup as we go through this one. We got Ty Borgagno, the third baseman in this one. He's leading off, and he's had a great season so far as he steps into the righty's batter's box. We will get underway. So here's the first pitch. Shows bunt, pulls back. First pitch, 2-0-2. And he's quickly up 1-0. Here comes the pitch. Take that low, and he's quickly up 2-0 on the count. Cloudy day here in Ann Arbor. Pretty windy right in the batter's face, so that'll pose a challenge for hitters on both sides, so we'll see how they can adjust to that. The 2-0 pitch, again outside, 3-0 count.
Yeah, and the batter's count here for Borgagno as he sets at about a 165 average on this season. Not as many starts as some of the other Dirtbags, but nonetheless, able to get back in this one and see if he can get on base and get it started here for Long Beach State.
Here comes the pitch, and that will fall into the zone for a strike. That just painted the outside corner for a strike. So 3-1 count, good recovery pitch from Chase Allen to continue battling on the mound. So here comes the 3-1 pitch. High for a ball, and that is a leadoff walk for Borgagno as Kyle Ashworth will step in, the lefty left fielder in this one with a leadoff runner on. So quick test for Chase Allen in this one.
Yeah, not a great start here for Chase Allen going, first 4 of those 5 pitches fall out of the zone as watched 1 strike, but He's going to need to catch up a little bit here as the second batter comes up.
Here's the first pitch of the at-bat. Ashworth shows bunt, will pull back, but that'll fall into the zone for a strike. And Ashworth, the transfer from Santa Ana College in 2022, dominated there, had a .317 average, came here and became a perennial starter and center fielder and has really raked so far. So he'll show bunt. That'll be played by Crusoe, who throw that to second, so get the force at second. Gets the lead runner. Ashworth is on first. So good play from Crusoe to get the lead runner and prevent runners from scoring position early on in this one.
Yeah, good fielder's choice there for Michigan, again, like you said, getting that first runner out.
Yep.
As we were mentioning, Ashworth has one of the most starts here of any players on Long Beach State, so has a lot of experience, like you said, with the transfer.
Right.
He's a good player here, but coming up now is definitely one of Long Beach State's top hitters.
Yep, Connor Sharpio, the junior college transfer, and I'd argue one of the best junior college transfers in the country, rather. Hit .411 as a freshman there, then just under .400 in that next season in junior college. Immediately, he just raked when he came here. He's hitting .339, team leader in average, as he will take that first pitch into the turf. Like he cannot get it. Ashworth on first, advanced to second, and then there's a runner in scoring position for the Dirtbags. And that was a good play. If you look back to Crusoe's play, there could have been a runner on third on that one. So there could have been two runners in scoring position without that play from Crusoe. So that was a potential, great defensive play from Crusoe at the hot corner. Sharpio's still up in a 2-0 count.
Yeah, and unfortunately that one just got away from Legib on that one. So again, like you said, runner in scoring position here. With, again, top batter in the Long Beach State lineup up to bat right now.
Take that pitch in for a strike, so it's a 2-1 count. So one out, runner on second with Sharpio in a 2-1 count. He's in .339 in the season, 39 hits, 2 home runs, and 19 RBIs. Doesn't hit for power, but that contact's certainly there. So here comes the 2-1 pitch that has popped up. Likey, that'll just be out of play right on top of us here in the press box. So that'll even it up 2-2.
Allen getting into a good count here against Sharpio, who again boasts that .339 average. So looking it out, a little bit of a jam here with the runner on.
The 2-2 pitch, he will take that one, grounded. Allen will make the play, check to third. Ashworth will advance to third, but Sharpio is out, but nonetheless advances the runner. And now the Dirtbags have a runner 90 feet away from making this a 1-0 ball game as a cleanup hitter, and John Newton Jr. will step in.
And that's good base running there from Ashworth. He got a little bit of a lead so that he could make it safely. And although Allen turned to maybe get him out there, wasn't able to. And good job by Allen, knowing he has the time to take a look at third, see if he get there, but ultimately got that easy force out at first.
Well, it was a good pitch from Allen there to force the grounder there. It seemed like Sharpio did not read that one at all. So here's the first pitch to Newton. That'll fall into the zone for a strike. Inside pitch for an 0-1 count. Newman kind of crowding the plate. Here's the pitch. That'll fall into the zone for a strike again. So Newman quickly down 0-2. Great pitching from Allen here with 2 outs and a runner on third.
Yeah, Allen showing some promise here early. Able to get out of this jam with one more strike here.
Here's the payoff pitch, and that'll be flied out to right field. That'll shade out of play, foul, and we'll do it again, 0-2 count.
Yeah. No chance there for either Longo or Shable to make that play kind of along that first base line as it goes out, but still keeping that 0-2 count, pitcher's count here for Chase Allen.
So do it again, 2 outs, 0-2 count for John Newton Jr., the senior catcher in this one, with Ashworth on third. Here comes the 0-2 pitch. That will just be above the zone for a strike. Boy, that was close.
It's a great off-speed pitch there.
Yeah.
Able to just miss it a little bit high.
I thought that just caught part of the zone, but nonetheless.
Yeah.
Home plate umpire Matt Nieder did not agree. So again, the 1-2 pitch. That'll be inside the zone, or just rather inside part of the plate, just out of the zone to even it up 2-2. Closed pitch. I know Allen thinks beginning to find a home in that inside part of the plate. Blue's been calling that so far in this one. So we'll do it at an even count with 2 outs, a runner on third. And that'll be rocketed up to center field. Garcia, that'll land for a base hit. Ashworth will score. So John Newton Jr., who was down 0-2, claws it back to 2-2, rips one into center field, and that's an RBI single for him, and the Dirtbags are up 1-0.
Yeah, unfortunate there for Chase Allen, who was sitting at that 0-2 count for a couple pitches there and kind of carved the edge of that strike zone and just couldn't get that final strike. And so a really good hit there to open up the scoring here for Long Beach State as that hit is hit right to center field, right by A.J. Garcia, but drops just before he can catch it.
So good hitting. So we see Adrian Lopez, who will ground that to Cole Caruso at the hot corner. That'll just be called foul. That paints the line there. Would have been a good play by Caruso at the hot corner.
Yeah, great throw there by Caruso.
Yeah.
Against his body, kind of across his body there to get to first. But
yeah, he's made some great defensive plays at the hot corner.
yeah.
So Adrian Lopez, the freshman, second baseman, will step into this one. He's down 0-1. That pitch will be in the turf. Lightkeep will fire it off to second to no avail. And John Newton Jr. will advance to second, and that is the second runner for the Dirtbags that have been in scoring position.
And it's the second one that's kind of gotten away from Lightkeep there. Yep. He was almost able to make that play, and it looked like he might have gotten it there in time, but it kind of bounced before second base, so unable to finish off that play. But now runner in scoring position again here for the Dirtbags.
So Allen will deliver the 1-1 pitch. That'll be rocketed to right field. Hrustic will make the play and potentially a run-saving play, but nonetheless the Dirtbags scrape across 1 run in this top of the first. With Michigan 1-2-3 due up next, we will run you through the Michigan lineup in this one. There's some difference in this one, that's for sure.
Absolutely. Yeah.
With A.J. Garcia, the routine leadoff hitter since he replaced both Pace and Kim in the outfield, has solidified that starting center field spot in this stretch of the season. So he leads off with Bradley Navarro playing left in this one. He will bat second with Stephen Hrustic, Colin Priest, Joe Longo, Cole Caruso, Mac Timbrook, Kyle Darnetti, and Brock Lightkeep. That is your lineup, but we will see Garcia first, Navarro, and then Hrustic.
And again, no Voit and no Will Rogers here today. As we talked to one of the assistants today and said it was more of a day-by-day decision and not necessarily one that, just sit him out because it's this kind of out-of-conference series. And Michigan definitely approaching this to, keep everyone fresh. It's a good little series to get some players in, and so they're going to take this opportunity to give Voit and Rogers both some much-needed rest.
Yep.
And again, like I said, kind of a day-by-day basis thing, so not necessarily a planned substitution, but.
Well, and it's also with this team, with 27 newcomers, you give Bradley Navarro, the freshman left fielder, you give him a chance, get some at-bats. You get Lightkeep, the catching freshman, give him some chances in this non-conference series and this stretch of the season. It's good practice. It's good, at-bats. It's good game simulation, really, for them as they look to develop this very new team for Michigan.
Yeah, and both Navarro and Lightkeep both have 24 games played and 13 and 17 started respectively. So not a ton of experience, but they definitely gotten in this season. And so this is, again, like you said, just a great way to get some players in, get some things going around. And A.J. Garcia has definitely stepped up with some of the injuries here for Michigan in his freshman year. So it's good to see him at the top of the lineup. That's kind of where he's solidified his spot. In the past couple weekends. I think he's certainly been a surprise among Michigan fans and the coaching staff as well, that he's been able to step into that leadoff spot so effectively as well, hitting at a 274 clip with 20 hits and 5 stolen bases as well. So he's got that contact speed combo that you want leading off the lineup. So he will step in against Kellen Montgomery, the starter for the Dirtbags, pitching with a 3.5 ERA and 10 starts, 59 innings pitched. Has caused 55 strikeouts on 10 walks. So an effective pitcher on the mound as we see A.J. Garcia step into the box. And yesterday we've seen the top 2 pitchers here from Long Beach State in the last 2 days, and Montgomery looking to make a good start here.
So Garcia will take that first pitch into the zone for a strike. So Montgomery is up early. The first pitch strike there. But Garcia waits for Montgomery, who will deliver. That'll be outside to even it up 1-1.
And AJ Garcia coming off the bench a little bit here with that injury. 274 average on the season with now 21 starts on 32 appearances. So strong showing from him so far.
He will take that first pitch into right field. Deep fly ball, and that will be foul. Boy, that was a towering shot from AJ Garcia, just foul.
And that one was hooking and hooking and hooking, and eventually just kind of sat in the back little corner of Ray Fisher Stadium here. Looked like it might have had a chance to go out, but
I thought it was gonna hit the pole there.
Yeah, it was really close. It was hooking. Couldn't really tell if it was like a wind thing or more of like it was just hooking naturally.
Yeah.
But either way, falls just short, and so he'll fall a little bit behind in the count here.
So there's a 1-2 count. That pitch will be way outside to even it up 2-2. Unable to be corralled by the catcher and John Newton Jr. behind the dish. So we'll do it a 2-2 count, no outs. Here comes the pitch, and that'll be fouled back, and we'll do it yet again, a 2-2 count, and Garcia will look to recover after that near home run. Certainly can do either way with your confidence, can either bolster it or kind of damage it. So here's the 2-2 count, and that'll run full as that pitch is outside. So a 3-2 count to the leadoff hitter in Garcia.
Garcia doing a good job staying alive here as he kind of fell behind a little bit on that 1-2 initially, but now at the full count.
Here comes the full count pitch. And that'll be a called strike 3. Just gets the part of the inside part of the plate, and that is a leadoff punch out for AJ Garcia as Bradley Navarro will step in to follow the lefty.
So 2 straight left-handed batters here for Michigan facing a right-handed pitcher, so
yeah,
potentially favorable.
So Navarro will step in, batting just over 200 on the season in 13 starts. He'll take a big cut at that one, and he's down quickly 0-1.
Montgomery so far in these first 2 at-bats doing a good job of getting a little bit ahead, and only 0-1 right now to Navarro, but nonetheless.
Here comes the 0-1 pitch. That'll fall into the zone for a strike, 0-2.
So just like that, had AJ Garcia at 1-2, and now Bradley Navarro sitting at an 0-2 count. Good job by Montgomery getting ahead here.
Yeah, he certainly looks dialed in as he delivers. And another big cut, so 3 straight pitches. And Navarro takes the bench as Steven Hrustich will step in, the big power bat for Michigan, the transfer from Northwestern, who's had a great season, leading the team in multiple offensive categories, runs scored, home runs, OPS, team leader in RBI. He is everything and more that the coaching staff have wanted from him as he takes that first pitch into the zone for a strike.
And Hrustich really been sticking around this 3-4 spot in the lineup all year as he's been a very reliable power hitter for Michigan pretty much all season long.
You'll take that next pitch. That'll nab part of the plate. Looked like that was shading outside. Nonetheless, falls into the zone, and he's quickly down 0-2. Montgomery, 10 pitches in, looks dialed in.
Yeah, 6 straight strikes here.
He will deliver. That'll fall outside. So the count now 1-2 to Hrustich.
And Montgomery with 55 strikeouts heading into this one, already has 57. And like I just said, 6 of the last 7 have been strikes, so really getting ahead here.
The next pitch, way outside, even it up 2-2 with 2 outs. Nobody on for the Wolverines. And Hrustich, again, that power bat, had 4 RBIs in his last 2 starts. So Hrustich will choke up on the bat. Montgomery will deliver. That'll fall low and away to run the count full, 3-2.
And Hrustich with 39 walks on the season, so highest of the lineup today. And he's staring down what could potentially be his 40th with an on-base percentage of .461.
Rustich will check to Montgomery. So here comes the full count pitch. And that'll be rifled foul out of play, and we'll do it again at a full count. So the Dirtbag infield. Adrian Lopez playing second in this one. Shades to the other side, so they're playing Hrustich's push hitting tendencies, rather. So we'll do it again. Montgomery will fire, and that'll fall outside of the zone, and Hrustich will take the free pass. So Colin Priest, the cleanup hitter, will step in with a runner on first.
And although Montgomery got ahead in those first 3 at-bats, unable to finish that one off against Hrustich, as, again, he extends that walk count to 40 on the season. And we'll get a runner on, but with already 2 outs and only a runner on first, not sure how much Colin Priest can do here.
So that first pitch will fall into the zone for a strike. Colin Priest, the freshman from Florida, playing designated hitter in this one. Certainly one of the most impactful freshmen for this program so far in their tenure here in Ann Arbor. So he's down 0-1 with 2 outs and a runner on. Take that next pitch outside to even it up 1-1.
And Hrustich taking a pretty big lead off here. He's 4 for 7 on steal attempts this season, so it'll be interesting to see with these 2 outs if he'll go.
Certainly be aggressive from the Wolverines early on in this one. So here comes the next pitch. Priest will rifle that into right center field. That is carrying. That is off the track and goes over the wall for a ground rule double. So Priest stands on second. And that's unfortunate because Hrustich easily would have scored on that one. So that halts Hrustich to third. So there's a runner on third. And Hrustich, and Priest stands on second with Joe Longo now due up for the Wolverines. Now solid piece of hitting from Colin Priest.
Yeah, great hit there as it kind of bounces off the center fielder's glove for Long Beach State Champaign. And so, yeah, Hrustich looked like he could have gotten all the way. I mean, he was there by the time that anyone had told him that.
Oh, yeah, he was halfway
double. He was
in between,
ready.
Third and home on that one when that bounced over the wall. So unfortunate break for the Wolverines to tie it up.
And it looks like Tracy Smith is trying to make a case here about something as the umpires will meet.
I don't know what for, so we'll have to see what they're discussing.
I mean, it looked like on that play, the ball kind of hit right around that warning track and bounced off the glove of Champagne and went out. And so I don't know if maybe they're trying to catch something to say that he should have kept going because it went off that glove, but seems like the umpires will stand at their call with a ground rule double.
Yep.
So interesting play there, but nonetheless, runners on second and third. So scoring position here.
Yep.
And this is a great spot here for Joe Longo, who had a great day yesterday with that home run in the 7th to kind of get the momentum started. So seeing if he can do anything here.
So here's the first pitch that will fall just above the zone. So Joe Longo quickly up 1-0, has erratically seen the lineup this season. Pivotal bench piece when he's not in the lineup, but a great presence in the lineup when he is. So here comes the next pitch to Montgomery. That is fired straight back to Montgomery off his back. The runner on third, and Hrustich will score. That was a rocket off the bat of Longo there, so that'll be an RBI single for Joe Longo, and the Wolverines tied up.
It seems like they're taking a little bit of time here to check out, make sure Montgomery's okay, because that was a rocket right on his back.
Yeah.
That could not have felt good, but Joe Longo doing what he did yesterday, bringing home some runs, as now we're all tied up 1-1 and still a runner in scoring position. So Michigan has really made some moves here with, they had 2 outs and they had Hrustich all the way at first, not really thinking they could do much with it, but a hit by Priest and by Longo now has put the Wolverines in a great position already with 1 run in.
Yeah.
Could potentially add more here.
So certainly Wolverines showing their grit as Cole Crusoe, the junior third baseman, will step in. He will ground that to second. Adrian Lopez will corral that in, make the play to first, and that'll be the 3rd out of the inning. But Michigan will score 1 to tie it up here to end the 1st as we move on to the top of the 2nd. And, yeah, you're right. They certainly showed their grit. That inning looked dead to rights. I think you said it. There wasn't much Colin Priest could have done in that spot with 2 outs and a runner on, and they scraped across 1 and tie ball game.
Yeah, and that was kind of that bottom bottom half of that first inning was a little bit of a tale of two stories, as Montgomery was able to get up on the count on all three of the first three batters. But then Hrustich drew 4 straight balls to get on first, and then kind of led to that hitting there from Priest and Longo to open up the scoring. So while Montgomery started off strong, kind of fell into a little bit of a hole there and give Michigan a way back in this game, as now Chase Allen will come back on the mound with no deficit, still even after giving up that first run in the first. So
that's good for him to, your offense comes out for you, makes it easier for him on the mound. So he'll look to have a better inning in this one. Showed some promise as he went down the stretch in the top of the first. So we'll see how he recovers with Champagne, Briceño, and then Santander following 1, 2, 3 in this inning.
And kind of getting towards the bottom of this Long Beach State lineup, as the Dirtbags were able to go through their first 5 batters in that first inning. And so now Champagne, one of the top hitters here for Long Beach State, sitting at 267. He's the only player in this lineup to start and play in every single game for the Dirtbags. So been a reliable person here to, come in, show some minutes, show some grit, as he'll be up to bat now.
So Alex Champagne, the center fielder in this one, will step in, and that pitch will be outside, and he's quickly up 1-0. Champagne, the transfer from Arizona State, actually college teammates with Will Rogers, so that's a reunion here in Ann Arbor. Went 2 for 3 with 2 runs scored last night. He will show bunt, pull back. That will fall outside of the zone, and he's up 2-0. Good eye from Champagne. Caruso shading closer to the plate. The next pitch will be up, and Allen is quickly down 3-0. So the command is certainly an issue for Allen early on in this one. Saw it in the top of the first. It's still present here in the top of the second. So here comes the 3-0 pitch. That'll fall into the zone for a strike. So he's worked it into a 3-1 count to Champagne in the lefty batter's box. The next pitch will fall into the zone for a strike, so he's worked himself full. 3-2. Again, both on the mound and in the lineup, you're seeing the tenacity of the Michigan Wolverine team. So that next pitch will be fouled back. We'll do it again at a full count.
And it seems like Chase Allen has kind of had a similar pattern here of getting behind in the count, but fighting his way back.
Yeah.
Now full again. Doing a good job of staying alive.
So the full count pitch will be rifled to second. Timbrook will glove that and throw it to Longo at first for the first out. So good pitching from Allen, who was down 3-0, to work a ground out.
This Michigan infield has done a great job all season of containing any ground balls that get away from some of these pitchers. And although Allen does a good job of getting that ground out, very routine play there from Timbrook to Longo.
So Armando Briceño is now up with 1 out. He will take that first pitch into the zone for a strike, so good first pitch strike from Allen. Here comes the next pitch. That'll be into the turf, corralled by Lightgeeb to even it up 1-1. And you're exactly right. This is a very good defensive infield. Darnetti is so versatile at shortstop. Crusoe, the rocket of an arm, and the reaction at the hot corner is that next pitch will be fouled off into the parking lot. So the count will run 1-2.
And Briceño, with a 281 average on the season, has the least amount of at-bats of anyone in the lineup here today for the Dirtbags with 96, but nonetheless a pretty good average, and has made his presence known throughout the year.
Here comes the 1-2 pitch. That'll be rifled down the line. Longo could not make the play. That'll be a base hit. Briceño hustling for second. Hrustich will finally field that, get that in, but nonetheless that'll be a stand-up double for Armando Briceño. And there will be a runner in scoring position for the Dirtbags again here in the top of the second.
And that one just went over the head of Cole Crusoe at first base, and so it'll go all the way out into right field as Hrustich is able to make a pretty good throw all the way from the back corner of this field all the way to second. But nonetheless, a stand-up double. Pretty easy to get here already a runner in scoring position for Long Beach State.
So we'll see how Chase Allen responds. This was a similar situation here in the top of the first as Cole Santander will step in, the designated hitter in this one. He'll take that first pitch out into the turf. That'll be a ball, 1-0.
Santander with a even 200 average on the season.
The next pitch will fall just outside of the zone. He's worked himself. Anyway, great hitters count, 2-0, and Santander took a dip. Last year led the team in batting average, on-base percentage, and slugging percentage, slashed at 344, 434, and 609. So very efficient hitter last season, has not translated so far this season. As he takes that pitch low, it falls into the zone for a strike to work at 2-1.
Chase Allen hoping to get a little bit back in these counts here, as he's struggled to do a little bit in the first 2 innings.
So 2-1 with 1 out, runner on second. Here's the pitch. That'll be into the turf. Leike will get on that, so Brasino will stay at second. And the count's now 3-1.
Like you've seen a few pitches get away from him a little bit. Is that one he's able to trap very easily? But
yeah, it seems like that off speed's hitting the turf. So next pitch, we grounded to Caruso, who treks to make that play, fires it off to first for the out. Great defensive play from Cole Caruso. Had to cover a lot of ground to make that play, but nonetheless, Brasino will advance to third. And again, the Dirtbags have a runner 90 feet away with 2 outs.
And that one kind of bounced in front of the shortstop there, as it had to make a pretty quick play in order to get to it and then throw it over, and not really a ton of time to get the lead runner. It would have been a force at that point, but able to get the force out at first. So now 2 outs. Chase Allen sitting in a little bit of a better position here.
So Jack Hammond will step in, playing first base in this one. The transfer from Kansas, noted as a top 25 MLB prospect at one point in his career, but transferred to Long Beach State. Will take that first pitch into the zone for a strike. Jack Hammond splits his time at first base and DH. Will play first in this one. Went 3 for 3 with 2 RBIs and a double last night. The next pitch will fall into the zone for a strike. Hammond quickly down 0-2 with a runner on third with 2 outs here. So this will be a great chance for Allen to get out of a jam here and to keep things status quo, 1-1 here in the top of the second. So Allen will check the wristband, settle into the rubber, takes a breath, fires, and that'll be grounded to Cole Caruso at the hot corner, who will fire that to Longo at first for the 3rd out of the inning. So Chase Allen gets out of the jam with runners in scoring position to keep things at 1-1 as we move to the bottom of the second.
That was a very, very long throw there from Caruso, and he does a great job getting it all the way over to Joe Longo at first base and keep the score here tied 1-1, as Chase Allen did a much better job in that last at-bat of getting a more favorable count for himself, as he, again, like we've been mentioning, he's kind of struggled to do so in the couple of the first at-bats of that inning and then the first inning as well. So hopefully he can take this inning off here and then maybe come back a little bit and able to see if the Wolverines can get him a few runs, and that could bolster a little bit of momentum on the defensive side.
Yeah, we're certainly seeing steady improvement from Allen in this one so far. So we'll see if that continues. I know we talked to the assistant coach before and just wanted solid innings, wanted him to be aggressive and hit the strike zone. You know, he's certainly been working towards doing that. The top of the second was better for him. So we'll see how that continues, as Mac Timbrook is due up next for the Wolverines, followed by Darnetti and Lightgeeb. So 7, 8, 9 due up for the Wolverines as Montgomery takes the mound again, who had a pretty good bottom of the first, but surrendered 1 run. And Mac Timbrook, great contact hitter, leading the team in average. He's certainly come up as a offensive catalyst for the Wolverines.
And with a 3.33 average and 138 at-bats and 46 hits, leads this lineup in hits today with the absence of Voigt. So potentially able to get some hitting started here, even though it's kind of towards this bottom of the Wolverines lineup. Could potentially get some hitting going, and then if a couple of the Wolverines can stay alive, that top of the order could get some more runs here on the board. Yeah,
Timbrook certainly, you know, at this stretch of the season, you hit a third of the time That's impressive from him. So he will step in, lead off the bottom of the second. Again, the grad transfer from Kent State. Hit above 300 there. Transfer to a tougher conference. Will take that first pitch outside, so he will be ahead 1-0. And he transferred to the Big Ten, an arguably tougher conference, and is hitting better. So he's certainly found a home here as a graduate student here in Ann Arbor as he takes the next pitch, takes a big cut at that one to even it up 1-1.
And Timbrook will face his old team coming up here on Tuesday as Kent State will come into town. So that should be a nice little reunion for him as he's kind of solidified his spot here in the Wolverines lineup this season.
So here comes the 1-1 pitch. That'll be outside, 2-1 count. Montgomery struggling to find the zone. This one early as Timbrook works himself into a 2-1 count. So here comes the pitch. And that'll be rifled in between the first and second baseman for a leadoff hit. And Mac Timbrook, doing exactly what the coaching staff tells him to do and gets a leadoff hit and looking to start something for the Wolverines.
Yeah, that's exactly what we talked about. Is if Timbrook could get on base here, which he does, it could set up some great things here for the rest of the lineup, and then going into the top of the lineup after Janetti and Leike round out the lineup here. But great start from Timbrook as he'll jump now a little bit above that 1/3 line that he started with today.
So the senior shortstop and Kyle Darnetti will step in. First pitch outside. And Timbrook will advance to second. And now the Wolverines have a runner scoring position with no outs. Darnetti up 1-0. Leike on deck and 1-2-3 to follow. Certainly a great chance for the Wolverines to tack on some insurance runs and grab the lead here.
It seems like some of these pitches have gotten away from Montgomery on that outside. But up until that point, Newman's been doing a good job of keeping him inside.
So that pitch will just be above the zone, and Darnetti is up 2-0. And again, Montgomery, who looked good in the first, struggling to find the zone in this second as he will receive a visit from the pitching coach. Try to dial in some of that command issues.
Yeah, and an early visit here after he had such a great start. He's kind of fallen behind in this count here. And then, again, now in the bottom of the second, already allowed a hit to Timbrook, and then that pass ball advances him all the way into scoring position. So, this is probably just a good little mental reset here. As Montgomery will try and make his way back kind of where he was at this beginning of this game.
Yeah, certainly, two stories told from Montgomery's performance in this one. Looked dialed in at the plate or on the mound in the first and looking kind of erratic in the second. So that was a quick meeting with the battery and the pitching coach. So that'll be over and we will get underway shortly. So Darnetti up 2-0 with nobody out. Timbrook on second. Great chance for the Wolverines to grab a lead in this one. So both the pitcher and the batter are set. Here comes the pitch. That'll fall into the zone for a strike, and that's exactly what I'm sure the pitching coach asked. Just get ahead, first pitch strike. So 2-1 count here. Check back to second, will deliver, and that'll be rifled into right center field. That'll be off the wall. Timbrook will round third, head for home, and Darnetti with a stand-up RBI double to make this a 2-1 Michigan lead here in the bottom of the second.
So Darnetti with his 19th RBI of the season as he crushed that ball. I mean, that hit the warning track first and then hit the wall pretty much right after.
Yeah.
As Timbrook was easily able to get into home, and I mean, a stand-up double there from Darnetti. There was no doubt about it. He was going to get that double. So great job already by this bottom of the Michigan lineup to get them back on the board and pick up right where they left off last inning.
A great piece of hitting from Darnetti in this part of the lineup. So Leike will stand, show bunt. We'll pull back. That'll be outside of the zone for a 1-0 count. Jack Hammond had to come sprinting from first base to cover off the possible bunt attempt. So we'll see if Leike will do the same here, the 9-hole hitter in this one. It's a great showing of hitting from the bottom of the Wolverine lineup. So Leikeeb again will show bunt. Hammond will run up. He will bunt that foul down the third base line to even it up 1-1.
And it seemed like he was trying to get it away from Jack Hammond there as he, again, on both of those pitches ran all the way from first base to almost home plate there. And so Leikeeb trying to get it on that third base line to get it away from him, but that one goes pretty far foul.
So Leikeeb will step in. Hammond will get closer as Leikeeb will show bunt. He will pull back. That'll be grounded to the shortstop, who will fire that to first. Way out of play. There's a collision at first. Darnetti will advance to third, will run home after that. Collision between Hammond and Leikeeb there. Hammond is still down.
It actually looks like that'll be Lopez, who's the
second
Lopez,
baseman. Yeah, he had to cover that off.
Yeah, Hammond had to, he again ran all the way down just like he did on those first two pitches, and so Lopez had to kind of go back to first and cover up that spot, as there's a pretty good infield grounder for Leikeeb to get it all the way to shortstop. But I mean, he kind of stood in the way there as Leikeeb as he was trying to get to first, and so pretty big collision there as he's still kind of sitting down and getting checked out here by the Long Beach State
that was a
coaching staff.
The throw got away from Brasino, had to make a tough play as Leikeeb had to, kind of grounded that in a good spot for Brasino. Could not make a good play on it, so had to rush the throw. It was Array there. Lopez tried to corral that one in, kind of got into the base path there into Leikeeb's path, resulting in that collision. But nonetheless, Darnetti will score from second to make this a 3-1 ball game.
So now what likely would have just been a runner on first and third with that collision and kind of an error there brought Darnetti all the way in. And so Michigan will take a 3-1 advantage. Now going back to the top of the lineup, so still no outs. And Michigan really cruising through this lineup with, I mean, we're just in the second inning, we're all the way back at the top with no outs.
So A.J. Garcia will step in, the leadoff hitter, with Leikeeb at first. So here comes the first pitch. We'll show bunt, and that'll be fouled back. And we had 0-1 count.
And Garcia and Navarro were the first two batters of this game, and both struck out. Garcia looking and Navarro swinging, so looking to probably pick up the pace here as we get back into the second inning with both of them due up with no outs.
So Garcia will show bunt. We'll have to get out of the way as that pitch was near his ankles there. So the count's now even, 1-1. Still no outs here in the bottom of the second. 2 runs have already come across. Leikeeb on first. And 1-2-3 due up for the Wolverines with Garcia now up. He will show bunt. That'll pull back, but foul. So the count now will be 1-2.
Seemed like Garcia got a little bit of a piece of that one, so now not in a super favorable count, 1-2. But nonetheless, Michigan already making their mark here in the bottom of the second.
So Montgomery will get set on the rubber, take a deep breath, will deliver. Garcia will take a big cut at that one, but that'll be foul tipped into Newman's glove for the out. That'll be strikeout. We call the strikeout swinging. So that's Montgomery's third K. Garcia's second in the game. So Navarro will step in with a runner on, 1 out here in the bottom of the second. So here comes the first pitch of the at-bat. That'll be inside of the zone for a ball, 1-0.
Navarro went out swinging. I believe it was on 3 straight pitches.
Yeah.
So did a good job there of holding back on that first pitch as it'll go in for a ball in his first ball of the game.
Take a big cut at that next pitch to even it up 1-1. That is not the first cut we have seen from Bradley Navarro in this one.
Definitely not.
Certainly swinging for the fences, seems like. Like the aggressiveness, though, in this spot especially when you're up 2 with 1 out and a runner on. Leikeeb will dart for second. Newman will make the throw on a dime. So that'll be an out. Leikeeb caught stealing. And boy, what a throw from Newman there on a frozen rope.
That was a fantastic throw. I mean, I watched the before every inning they try and do a practice throwdown, and the practice one was super high.
Yeah,
so,
I noticed that too.
And so that one was right on the money. Able to get Leike out now. Much better position here.
The next pitch will be called strike 3. So Montgomery quickly works himself out of the jam with 2 straight strikeouts and gets a little help from his battery mate for 3 outs there, but the Wolverines plate 2 in the bottom of the second as the Dirtbags will come up here in the top of the third.
So Montgomery doing a great job with the top of the Michigan lineup.
Yeah.
I mean, 2 straight strikeouts there, and just like he did at the top of the first. So as we've seen, kind of that middle chunk and then the bottom half of the Michigan lineup was what was able to do most of the damage against Montgomery and get their 3-1 lead. But, I mean, 2 straight strikeouts again to Garcia and Navarro, and we basically blinked, and they went from no outs to 3 outs right there with the caught steal, too.
Yeah, no, great job for Montgomery to get out of the jam. You're right, it was, one point of, cruising, Wolverine offense was cruising with 0 outs and a runner on, and all of a sudden it was 3 outs, no runners on. So great job for Montgomery on the mound. So we will see. You will see 1, 2, 3 for the Dirtbag lineup in this one. So both lineups, rifling through pretty quickly in this one. Allen again on the mound.
Now, Allen did a good job at the top of this lineup here as Bourguignon was the only one that was able to make it on a walk, but the other 2 weren't as successful. So Allen hoping to kind of find that same success that he found on the top of the lineup last time around.
I mean, all you're asking for is just steady improvement. There was steady improvement from the first to the second, and you're looking for that same trend here as Ty Bourguignon will step in, the leadoff hitter, playing third in this one. So he will show bunt. That'll pull back outside of the zone for a ball, so he's quickly up 1-0.
It looks like we'll get a substitution in right field here for Michigan with Velasquez all the way up, going in for Navarro.
Oh.
So an interesting substitution.
Oh, Hrustic will move to left then.
Yep.
Oh.
So interesting little movement here for Michigan, potentially trying to mix around the lineup a little bit as Navarro hasn't had a ton of success at the plate so far.
The next pitch will be into the zone for a strike, and Bourguignon's down 1-2. And with a non-conference series at this part of the season, you can afford to be creative with Velasquez in right. Hrustic normally in left, so that's usual suspect out there. So here comes the next pitch. Bourguignon will foul that back, and we'll do it again, 1-2. So I wonder if that was a plan for Navarro to just get 2 at-bats, just get some live at-bats in a game, and then we'll pull you after that. So we'll see if he comes back in another fashion. Count runs even 2-2.
And Navarro didn't really start the game super strong, had those first 2 strikeouts. So, kind of hard to tell whether this is just a way for Michigan to test out some new players or whether they just don't want to see Navarro too much getting more strikeouts. But
right. So the next pitch will be high for a ball, so the count's now 3-2 to Bourguignon. Allen will deliver, and that'll be rifled to second. Timbrook shades over. We'll fire it over to first for the first out of the inning. Great play from Timbrook, and that is a big out, number 1.
And although Chase Allen started up and then kind of fell behind, he's kind of done this multiple times today where he's kind of forced this ground out to go into the infield, and a couple have gone to Timbrook, a couple to Crusoe. So we've seen some success here with Chase Allen able to force these ground outs, even though he may not have the most favorable count that he wants.
So Kyle Ashworth will step in. He will take that pitch into the turf for a ball, 1-0. Showed bunt on that first one, so we'll see if he will do that again. Reached on fielder's choice in his last at-bat and scored off that. So the only run scored for the Dirtbags as he takes that next pitch low and in for a ball. So he's quickly up 2-0. So Allen will deliver on a 2-0 count. That'll fall into the zone for a strike. So he'll claw back into a 2-1 count. Allen will check the wristband, settle onto the rubber, wind up, deliver. That'll be fouled way back down the third base line, way out of play.
Strong hit ball there.
Yeah.
Just not anywhere near play. This will go pretty far outside.
Yeah, that was off Yost. So we'll do it. Even count 2-2 to Kyle Ashworth. Nobody on with 1 out. And again, we'll foul that back way out of play. Didn't quite get to Yost on that one.
Same direction, though.
Yeah, same direction, yeah. So we'll do it again at a 2-2 count with 1 out. Here comes the pitch. That'll be grounded to Longo at first, who will make the play himself. So a 3 unassisted for Joe Longo for the 2nd out. So good pitching from Allen to get 2 quick outs against the top of the order.
And Allen's forced Ashworth to kind of hit in the infield during both of his at-bats. That first one was the fielder's choice in the first inning, and then this one kind of went straight all the way over to Longo at first. So good job by Allen. 2 quick outs here for him.
So Allen will deliver to Connor Sharpio. That'll fall into the zone for a strike. Here comes that next pitch. That'll be fouled into the Michigan dugout. So Sharpio quickly down 0-2 with 2 outs, nobody on here in the top of the 3rd.
Sharpio making contact with the ball and getting it in play just over a third of the time. So one of the strongest hitters here for Long Beach State. Not in a favorable count, though.
The 0-2 pitch will be inside that off speed. Gets away from Allen, nearly hits Sharpio. So count now 1-2.
It seemed like that ball came out a little bit weird for Allen there. Trying to get that off speed, it kind of just fell its way down and almost hit Sharpio on the inside, but still a good count for Allen at 1-2.
Lucky to not hit Sharpio there. So Allen will deliver. That'll be outside of the zone into the turf to even it up 2-2. So Allen, who worked himself into a 0-2 count, evens it up 2-2 off 2 off-speed pitch that got away from him. So here comes the next pitch. That'll be flied out into right field. Velasquez misread that and lost that. That falls in front of him for a base hit, and Sharpio will stand on second for a double. Velasquez completely misread that one. So the Dirtbags have a runner on with 2 outs, a runner in scoring position for the 3rd straight time.
It seemed like the sun kind of popped there.
Yeah,
popped
the
out
sun
there at the wrong time for Velasquez.
Yeah, the sun's kind of been peeking out.
Yep. But, I mean, he kind of stumbled there, almost got back on track, but had to switch his shoulders and just couldn't make the play.
Yeah.
So very, very high hit ball there from Sharpio ends up landing.
That was a towering fly ball, and now, of course, the clouds come in. So Allen will deliver to John Newman Jr., who actually delivered an RBI single in his first at-bat. Will take that first pitch into the zone for a strike. And it's got to be, that's a bad break for Allen. You thought that was a fly out to end the inning. Nonetheless, that makes it hard for you, as that next pitch will be into the turf. Good corral by Lightgeeb to keep the runner at second. So we'll do it at a 1-1 count with 2 outs. And
so Newman, the only batter to bring someone in here today for Long Beach State with the only RBI of the game, and it was actually Sharpio who he was able to bring in that first inning. So
deja vu here.
Deja vu.
Yep, in the top of the 3rd. So that next pitch will be into the zone for a strike. So it's a 1-2 count with 2 outs, a runner on second, and Sharpio. Allen will take a deep breath, check the runner at second, will deliver, and that'll be rifled into left for a base hit. Horustich will fire home. And Crusoe will have to cut that one off, and now the runner and Newman is in a pickle here. So Allen now gets the ball, has to chase him, will make the tag for the out. Close play in the rundown. So that'll be a 3rd out, a rather eventful 3rd out of the inning. And Michigan keeping the score at 3-1.
Yeah, so kind of poor base running there.
Yeah.
I mean, Sharpio was going home, and he pretty much made it safely as the throw was cut off before it could even reach home. But then
I thought it was a questionable decision to round because I know Hrustic's arm talent out and left. I thought it was a questionable decision. He would have made it. Would have made it nonetheless. Then Darnetti had to cut that one off.
Yeah, so it's a great job by Darnetti to cut it off and then quickly get up and make that throw over to second base to catch Newman in that pickle there and keep the score even. So, yeah, like you said, an eventful third out there, but able to keep the score at 3-1 on some questionable base running. Yeah.
So Montgomery will take the mound again in this one. 4 strikeouts, and that's against 2 on the leadoff hitter and 2 against Bradley Navarro, the second hitter. So has really found something against the top of the lineup, but has struggled against the bottom half of the lineup so far, as Hrustic is due up next, followed by Priest and then Joe Longo.
And this was the part of the lineup that really got going in that first inning. As Hrustic was able to make it back on. I think he came back and was able to get a walk. And then Priest and Longo both had those hits to ultimately bring Hrustic in and open up the scoring. So, again, a lot of this, I mean, it's really just been those first 2 batters that have kind of struggled for Michigan, and then the rest of the lineup has done a pretty good job of finding some different ways to get on base, some by hits, some by walk. And then a couple pitches that got away for a couple steals. So Michigan getting a little creative here, not only with the lineup, but with the way they're getting on base and the way they're scoring.
Well, it doesn't matter how you score. It's just a matter if you score.
Yeah, indeed.
Yeah. So the scoreboard's saying it's a 3-2 ball game. Not sure how that second run came in for the Dirtbags. So we will see how that scored. That's odd. So Hrustic will take that first pitch foul. So he's down 0-1.
It seems like they're going to count the hit from Newman there as a single, but still getting the run and out on.
Oh, right. So Hrustic will take that pitch, fly it out into left. It looks like that'll be made play. Sharpio will make the play in left. I thought that'd be off the wall. Did not carry enough. So that is a towering out number 1.
And Hrustic hit that right into the wind, and so might have caught a little bit of glimpse of that and then fell a little bit short of the wall, but good play there to get the catch at the warning track by Sharpio.
So Colin Priest will step in and take that first pitch outside for a ball. In his last plate appearance, he doubled and advanced to third. He'll take that next pitch inside. He's worked himself into a great hitter's count, 2-0 with 1 out. The infield shading towards right field. Shortstop moving over to the other side of the second base bag. And Lopez of second is playing in shallow right field. Then Priest will take that into the zone for a strike to work into a 2-1 count.
Great pitch there by Montgomery.
Yeah.
Able to get a little bit of momentum back as he was starting to fall a little bit behind.
So Montgomery will wait and deliver here. That'll fall outside of the zone. So now a 3-1 count with 1 out, nobody on for the Wolverines here in the bottom of the third. So here comes the 3-1 pitch. That'll find the zone for a strike to run the count full.
So Colin Priest, after getting that double, is now looking at a full count here.
So here comes the full count pitch from Montgomery, who will rifle that to second. And Lopez, who played the shift perfectly, will fire that to first for the second out of the inning.
A great infield shift there by Long Beach State. Knew exactly where Priest was going to make contact with that ball. And so good job by Montgomery to keep it in the infield, and then pretty routine play there as that shift just covers it up perfectly and is able to get that out. So now the Hrustic and Priest both struggling a little bit here, as although they had a strong first inning.
Yep. So Longo will ground that to second. Rather weak grounder. Lopez, who had to shade, cover a lot of ground, could not corral that in. So Longo will reach first, I believe. I'm sure that'll be scored an error on Adrian Lopez. So the Wolverines potentially caught a break here.
Yeah.
With a runner on first now. As Cole Crusoe will step in, the power threat who is really coming to his own in this part of the season, especially within Big Ten play. Hit a towering grand slam against Minnesota in I believe 2 weeks ago, and then had a 3-run home run last weekend. As Montgomery will fire that to first to no avail. Check the runner in Longo. And Crusoe still nothing count with 2 outs, a runner on first. Montgomery will check Longo at first. Nonetheless will deliver. Crusoe take a big cut at that one, and he's down 0-1.
And Crusoe at his 5 at-bats yesterday only had 1 hit, but multiple RBIs, as that was the grand slam. So had some success yesterday, and is hoping to translate it a little bit over today.
So Crusoe will foul that next pitch just in front of the Long Beach State dugout. So he's quickly down 0-2 with 2 outs. Longo on first. Timbrook on deck. Montgomery, who's 51 pitches in through 2 2/3. Crusoe will foul that one back. We'll do it again at a 0-2 count.
Seems like Longo is taking a little bit of a lead here to maybe make something happen with 2 outs here in the inning. But again, this is a pretty similar situation that we saw back in the first with 2 outs and a runner on first.
So here comes the 0-2 pitch. Again, Crusoe will fight and foul that one back. We'll do it again, 0-2 count.
And so just like we thought in that first inning with Hrustic on first and Precept to bat, thought nothing could happen, but ultimately got a run. You know,
right.
Never know with this situation as well.
Nope.
Crusoe been pretty successful the last couple weekends, and so could make something happen here in the bottom of the 3rd.
So Montgomery will fire. That'll be outside of the zone, and now it's a 1-2 count.
Looked like a solid pitch there from Montgomery, but
yep.
just goes a little bit outside.
That was certainly a swing and a miss pitch that Montgomery was looking for.
Yep.
Crusoe, stone cold take. So here comes the 1-2 pitch. That'll be into the turf. Good defense by Newman to keep that right in front of him and to keep Longo at first. Now the count's even 2-2.
And Newman's done a great job of kind of facing a bunch of different pitches, both kind of outside and low, but has really reined in those pitches, made sure nothing crazy happens.
So here's a 2-2 pitch with 2 outs. That'll fall just outside of the zone, and now the count runs full, 3-2. Good patience from Cole Crusoe at the plate.
Yeah, patience is the perfect word for that. Is again, a lot of these batters might get a little impatient staring down an 0-2 count.
Yep.
But now he's worked his way all the way back.
So here comes the full count pitch. That'll be rifled down the line, foul. Solid contact from Cole Crusoe. So we'll do it again at a full count with 2 outs, a runner on first here in the bottom of the 3rd. Michigan has plated none in this frame so far. Looking to change that with Crusoe at the plate. So here comes the full count pitch. Again, that'll be fouled. Good fight from Cole Crusoe, who was at a 0-2 count and worked himself full and still battling. Wind really picking up here at Ray Fisher Stadium. Sun's out though, so one good has to be countered with a bad. But we have a great baseball game here. So full count, 2 outs, runner on first. Cole Crusoe at the plate. Montgomery will fire. That'll be popped up. Newman looking to make a play. That'll be out of play.
Not really sure what happened there, but
yeah,
it seemed like a fan might have been close to getting it. It kind of hit off the top of the press box on our right side, but couple of kids going to chase after it.
Yeah. Should the event staff beat him to that one. So again, full count. Caruso really making Montgomery work. Longo on first. Here comes the pitch. That'll be grounded foul, and we'll do it again. Full count. I feel like I'm just repeating myself here, but good fight from Cole Caruso here, who looked dead to rights with an 0-2 count with 2 outs. Has worked himself into a full count with a runner on in the Michigan contact threat, and Mac Timbrook on deck. So Montgomery will fire off to first to check Longo to no avail. So we'll do it at a full count, 2 outs. Longo on first. Montgomery will settle into the rubber, check the runner at first, look to the plate, will deliver, and that'll be fired into center field for a base hit. Longo will advance to third, and now there'll be runners on the corners now for the Wolverines with Mac Timbrook, the contact threat on deck, and now will step into the box.
Yeah, and that hit was just shallow enough that Champaign didn't really try and want to make a play on that one. Rather playing a little bit safe, waiting for it to hop, and then threw it into the infield. So probably a smart play there by Champaign out in center field, was able to get it in and prevent it from going behind him and potentially allowing a run. But like you said, with Timbrook up here, you know, something could happen as he's proven to be Michigan's top power hitter.
Well, especially with this win, you never know how that ball is going to trail at the last second. And if you miss that play, you score a run there easily. So that first pitch to Timbrook will be outside of the zone for a ball. So Timbrook up 1-0 with 2 outs, runners on the corners. Good fight from this lineup, especially from Caruso. That was a long at bat. Really made Montgomery work, as Timbrook will take a big swing at that one to even it up 1-1.
And that last at bat, like you said, Caruso really just sticking in there. Ended up being a 12-pitch at bat.
Wow. Montgomery will fire that off to first. Caruso will slide in safe. So still runners at the corners. 2 outs. 1-1 count to Timbrook. Montgomery 65 pitches in now. He will deliver. Timbrook will show bunt, pull back. But that'll fall outside of the zone, and now it's a 2-1 count.
And it seemed like Longo was getting ready to run home on that bunt to try and get the score.
He looked committed.
Yeah, but ultimately pulled back on that bunt to get a ball.
So Montgomery will deliver. That'll be high for a ball. So a 3-1 count to Mac Timbrook. Certainly do not want to walk into a bases-loaded situation.
Definitely starting to get a little bit of deja vu from that first inning.
Yeah.
As Michigan's on the verge of scoring again.
And that pitch will just snag part of the zone for a strike to run the count full, 3-2. I thought that fall just inside for a ball.
Yeah.
Nonetheless, Blue thought that was a strike, so your full count. 2 outs, runners at the corners here in the bottom of the third. Montgomery will deliver. That'll be grounded to Adrian Lopez at second, who will make the play for the third out. So good job by Montgomery to get out of the jam. So we are still at a 3-2 ball game here as we move into the top of the first.
And despite a really long inning there, it seemed like that hit or that really long at bat from Caruso might have opened up a little bit of scoring for Michigan, but unfortunately, that long at bat ran a little bit slow, and then eventually Timbrook had that ground out to end the inning. So good job by Michigan to keep fighting and potentially get back in the inning and add another run. But now, as we go through 3 innings, Michigan has scored in the first 2, unable to tally on another run in the third, but still with the lead 3-2. Michigan doing a good job of preserving that lead that they kind of gained in that second inning, and Chase Allen will hopefully continue his day. As I know, we talked to one of the assistant coaches, and you mentioned just, you know, trying to build up a little bit of confidence here from Chase Allen. And although we may not see 100 pitches from him, just because they're not trying to run up their pitchers too much. they're definitely going to try and keep Allen here as long as possible, and then maybe get in some other pitchers and see what kind of people they can get in without. I mean, they didn't play any kind of a weak game this past week, so a lot of their like in-week pitchers are able to come in here today and overall this weekend in general. So could potentially see some good substitutions here for Allen, and hopefully won't have to pitch too long.
Yeah, I agree. And from Allen, we've just seen steady improvement from him on the mound. And if it wasn't for a misplay in right field, that would have been good. Inning would have ended, but unfortunately off that error, or that wasn't actually scored an error for Michigan. That was scored a double, but it was a misplay by Velasquez in right. So Velasquez will move to left, and Hrustic will move back to right. So there's some defensive switches. So Hrustic will now have to play the sun, and Velasquez will not have to do that. So Adrian Lopez will step in to lead off this frame. Had an error in the last frame. He flew out to right field in his last appearance. So he is up 1-0. Will show bunt, will pull back, but that'll be outside of the zone. So he's quickly up 2-0. It seems like a common theme from Chase Allen.
Yep, just about to say the same thing.
Yep. Early on in most innings, he is quickly down, but he will work himself back by throwing a strike there. So now we're at a 2-1 count to the freshman second baseman. That next pitch will check swing, but that'll be outside of the zone. First place umpire believe that he did not break the plane. So it's a 3-1 count to Lopez here as Allen will deliver. And that'll be rifled over Darnetti's head into left field for a base hit. Lopez will think about making the turn, will think better of it, and retreat back to first. So that is a leadoff single for Adrian Lopez.
Just out of reach of Darnetti there. He tried to make the leap to get that grab, but unfortunately, again, just went right over him, and then Velasquez able to make a good play to keep him at first base. So good single there from Adrian Lopez to get the inning started.
Yeah. So Lopez will dart for second. Leitgeb will throw him out. So great throw by Brock Leitgeb. But nonetheless, we see a aggressive base running from the Dirtbags here, but to no avail on that one. So that was Adrian Lopez's 7th stolen base attempt. That actually breaks his perfect attempt record. He's now 7 for 8. So great throw from Leitgeb behind the dish for a quick out number 1 as Alex Champagne is quickly up 2-0 here. Grounded out to second in his first at bat. So here comes the 2-0 pitch. That'll fall into the turf. So Champagne quickly up 3-0.
Common theme, as we've been saying all afternoon. Allen kind of getting behind in the count. Overall, done a good job of getting back in it, but hoping maybe he can turn the tide a little bit.
So here comes the 3-0 pitch. That'll be a 4-pitch walk to Alex Champagne, and yet again, there's a runner on first for the Dirtbags as Armando Briceño will step in with a runner on first. And Briceño doubled in his first plate appearance. So looking to continue a solid offensive start so far in this game. As the first pitch, he will rifle that to Cole Crusoe, who is not able to make the play. Velasquez will make the play and left. So now there are runners at first and second for the Dirtbags with 1 out.
Velasquez again, just kind of like that first at bat the inning, kind of held off the runner, made sure he didn't get to second that time, made sure that Champagne didn't make his way all the way over to third. So another single now.
Yep.
Will put runners at first and second, and just like that, Briceño also now 2 for 2 on the day.
As Tracy Smith will meet with Chase Allen here. Probably good mound visit here. Good call from Coach Smith to relax the pitcher.
He's already up to 72 pitches here on the day in the 4th inning. So,
And the coaching staff thing, we're not expecting a long inning start from Allen.
Yep.
So this is to be expected. As we see Cole Santander step in, grounded out to third in his first plate appearance.
And it does actually look like Will Rogers is out there in the Michigan pen warming up.
Yeah, I saw him earlier. I doubt they'd put him in this spot unless things really get out of hand.
I agree.
So the infield will retreat back to their respective positions. Tracy Smith will retreat back to the dugout off that mound visit, just looking to dial in Allen. Sure, they expect him to at least finish the inning, unless things really get out of hand with runners on first and second. As again, Cole Santander will step in, batting just under 200 on the season after hitting over 300 last season. So here comes the first pitch. That'll fall into the zone for a strike. Good off speed from Allen.
Mound visit proving to be a bit helpful here for Allen, as we've seen him get behind in a lot of counts just like that. He's already up 0-1, potentially looking to do a little bit more damage here.
Here comes the next pitch. That'll fall inside of the zone for a ball to even it up 1-1 with 1 out, 2 on for the Dirtbags. Chase Allen will check the wristband, put the right foot on the rubber, look back to second, will deliver, and that'll be grounded down the third base line, foul. We'll do it at a 1-2 count.
Santander fell just below that 200 line as in his last at bat had that ground out, so looking to maybe bring it right back up to 200 and get a little bit going here, as Long Beach State has done a pretty good job this half inning of getting some runners on, getting some players in scoring position as one sits at first and second.
So here comes the 1-2 pitch. That'll be grounded to Timbrook, who will throw that to Darnetti, who will rifle that to Longo at first. So double play for the Wolverines. Great play from Timbrook and Darnetti to turn a double play. And again, it's Michigan who leads the nation in double plays, extends that lead. And that's great for Chase Allen, who gets out of the jam and comes out with another goose egg here in the top of the fourth inning.
Yeah, great job. Again, we've been saying it all day today, and all season we've seen Michigan's infield just do a great job of helping their pitchers out. When pitchers keep the ball in the infield, that infield doing a great job as Darnetti goes over Timbrook to Darnetti, Darnetti to Longo, gets that double play, and just like that, Chase Allen, after that mound visit, is able to get a little bit of a break here. And we'll see if he comes back in the top of the fifth, still sitting at a pretty favorable pitch count, just around 75 or so. But nonetheless, the Michigan batters will come up, and it'll be kind of towards the bottom of the lineup that has been pretty successful. Yeah. I mean, all three of Timbrook, Darnetti, and Likey were all successful in that first at bat for the Wolverines, so hoping to continue that.
Yep. So the Wolverines were tied for the national lead in double plays with 45, so now they take control of the national lead with 46. And that middle infield combo, Timbrook and Darnetti, just so deadly when it comes to the defensive side. So excellent to see that and help out Allen there, who looked like he was kind of struggling there for a bit. Good to help out their pitcher. So Darnetti, who was pivotal, made the turn to first in that last double play, will step in to lead off the bottom of the fourth. Now Montgomery's still on the mound. Had a roller coaster of a game so far. Seen some excellent pitching from him, and seen some questionable stretches for him as he takes that first pitch. That'll be rifled down the third base line, just foul. Great contact from Kyle Darnetti. So he's quickly down 0-1.
Had that double back in the second, was able to kind of open up the scoring a little bit more and extend their lead. Again, that one RBI single in the second was able to bring it to pretty much where we are now at 3-2.
Darnetti would take a big swing at that one to even it up 1-1, way in front of the off speed. So here comes the pitch from Montgomery. That'll be way outside. Now a 2-1 count to Kyle Darnetti. The grad transfer from Oregon State. Pivotal of that program success as he takes a big cut at that one for the strikeout. Montgomery's 5th. As Brock Leike will step in to follow. And that is Montgomery's first strikeout against Michigan batters not named Garcia and Navarro.
Indeed, and Darnetti went out swinging on pretty much all of those strikes. That first one was fouled, and then the other two just completely missed. So
Leike will take that first pitch, ground that to the shortstop, who will rifle that over to first with a second out of the inning. Great play by Brasino. So quickly, Montgomery forces 2 outs as the lineup card will flip over for the Wolverines. A.J. Garcia will step in, who struck out in both at-bats, struck out looking in his first and struck out swinging on his second. So looking to buck that trend here in his 3rd chance given in this one. So Montgomery will deliver. Garcia will foul that one back. So he's quickly down 0-1. Velasquez is on deck, who was a defensive replacement for Bradley Navarro. So Garcia, lefty in this one, will take that next pitch outside to even it up 1-1. Good eye from Garcia.
Look to paint right that edge of that strike zone there, but ultimately falls outside. So again, like you said, good eye from Garcia.
So Garcia will wait on the pitch, take a big cut at that one. So he's quickly down 1-2.
Garcia certainly struggling.
Yep.
Here against
seems like that off speed too.
Yeah.
Montgomery certainly found something against Garcia with his off speed. So we'll see if he goes to that again. Garcia will foul that next pitch back, foul. We'll do it again in a 1-2 count with 2 outs here in the bottom of the 4th. A 3-2 ball game. Montgomery will deliver the 1-2 pitch. Again, Garcia fouls that back.
Kind of the same place as last pitch, doing a job of staying alive, as both his pitches were pretty much right in the zone. So Garcia again doing a good job of making sure those don't fall into the catcher's glove, but staying alive nonetheless.
So do it again in a 1-2 count. Montgomery will set and fire. And that'll just fall outside of the zone to even it up 2-2. Montgomery seems to have found a home that outside part of the plate, but home plate umpire is not calling that in his favor. So here, 2-2 count with 2 outs here in the bottom of the 4th. Garcia will foul that one back. Similar placement to those last 2 fouls. And we'll do it again. Good fight from Garcia, despite certainly having his confidence shattered from the 2 straight strikeouts seen in this game. So we'll do it again. Garcia with the 2-2 count with 2 outs. Here's the pitch, and that'll be fouled into the Michigan bullpen. Great fight to stay alive here in a 2-2 count with 2 outs. So here comes the pitch. And that'll be low for a ball to run the count full.
Another really long at bat here from A.J. Garcia, kind of just like we saw last inning with Crusoe.
So here comes the full count pitch. Again, fouled back. So we do it again at a full count. The Michigan dugout really in support of their teammate. Really cheering him on. The freshman center fielder who did not expect to occupy this leadoff spot this season, but due to injuries with Kim and Pace, he has stepped in and kind of ran away with it. So Montgomery, the full count pitch, will fire. Garcia will rifle that into center field. Champagne sits under that one to make the play for the 3rd out of the inning. Good fight from Garcia nonetheless. And we are still at a 3-2 ball game as we move into the 5th inning.
Like you said, great fight there from Garcia. As another really long at bat for Michigan is starting to wear down Montgomery's arm probably a little bit here, as he's up to 74 pitches on the day. And so, although that flyout was pretty routine there for Champagne to make that grab, as Garcia stayed alive. Was able to dwindle down on that pitch count and potentially could see a new pitcher in a couple innings here for Long Beach State, but still be Chase Allen here on the mound for Michigan at 76 pitches.
Yep. No surprise there with Chase Allen on the mound. Will Rogers still up and moving, so I would assume that if things get out of hand for Allen, Tracy Smith will defer to Will Rogers, who is a reliable bullpen presence for the Wolverines. Also a great catcher. So he's off in his catching duties today, but we'll still likely see some action out of the pen.
Like we said, kind of that pregame talk, didn't want to see too many pitches out of Allen, so would not be surprised if Will Rogers comes in. You know, if things get a little bit out of hand this inning, could see him sometime this inning. If Allen does a really good job this inning, you know, Allen could keep fighting for maybe an inning or two more, but would not be surprised to see Rogers within the next 3 or so innings, somewhere around there.
Yep.
Just to get a good little relief and make sure that Michigan's arms stay fresh throughout the weekend.
Right.
As again, this kind of non-conference series slate in the middle conference play proves to be a good time to test out some things for the Wolverines.
Get creative, certainly, with this slate. So we will see the 9-hitter followed by 1 and 2. So Jack Hammond, the first baseman, will step in. So Allen will deliver. That'll be fired to Caruso, who looked like he had the play with fumble in front of him, who makes the throw to first for the out. What a play from Cole Caruso, who bobbled the initial grounder, made a great recovery to fire that one off. I would assume Long Beach State wants to challenge this, as Hammond had to slide that one in. Knew that was going to be a close play as he was sprinting down the base path. So I think, umpires will go to the booth for this one, and it was certainly a close play. A good recovery by Caruso. Caruso kind of taking his time, kind of gingerly, had an awkward landing, kind of twisted up.
Yeah.
And had to get up quick to make the throw, which certainly didn't make any aggravation any better.
He kind of hit the ground and then his glove right after, and then kind of sat on the dirt for a little bit. Eventually got up to try and make that throw. Looked like it might have almost been from his knees, so tried to get the throw over to the first as made the slide. We're kind of waiting to see if they'll show a replay here at Ray Fisher Stadium.
Yeah. So we will see. I will use the Big Ten Plus replay center to see. That's a bad angle. You can't tell if the ball's in the glove or not.
Yeah, very hard to tell where that
it's hard to tell
ball
from the
is.
scoreboard, too.
Yeah.
It's a close play nonetheless. Great hustle from Hammond down the line. But great play from Caruso there to give himself a chance after it looked kind of dead to rights, as it looked like it got away from him, but good recovery. So we'll see what the umpiring crew decides here.
And see if they have enough to overturn this call again. The ruling on kind of the field here was that he was out, so see if they have enough to turn that.
Right. I mean, they need enough to overturn the play. Even if there's some little doubt and question to it, they're going to side with the initial call. Taking their time here. Very close play. So that'll be a quick out number 1 for Allen, but nonetheless, he will see the top of the dirtbag order. Bourguignon, followed by Ashworth. So the umpiring crew have made their decision, will jog back. Again, that call will be confirmed. So Jack Hammond will be called out. Great play from Cole Caruso at the hot corner to make the play despite the initial misplay. So we will see the top of the dirtbag order with Ty Bourguignon stepping in. Walked in his first plate appearance and grounded to second in his last. So he will step into the righty batter's box. So 1 out to Chase Allen, who will deliver to start the at-bat. Bourguignon will show bunt, but that'll be outside of the zone for a ball.
And Chase Allen used a little bit of that time with the umpire review to keep his arm warm, as we saw a couple pitches from him, but he'll step up and pitch to Bourguignon.
The next pitch will find the zone to even it up 1-1. So here comes the 1-1 pitch. That'll be rifled to Cole Caruso, who has to make the diving play. Will rifle that to first for the out. And Cole Caruso, talk about a defensive day at the hot corner for him. 2 straight plays where he has to make diving plays and rifles him over, using that arm talent to his advantage and causes 2 outs there. Great defense from Cole Caruso as Kyle Ashworth will step in.
Caruso laying it all on the line, trying to get these 2 outs for Allen.
That first pitch from Allen will fall into the zone for a strike, and that's something we haven't seen from Allen on the mound, those first pitch strikes. That next pitch will find the zone, and he's quickly up 0-2 against Kyle Ashworth.
Good framing on that last pitch from, like it would look to be a little bit on the outside of that strike box, but got Blue to call the strike, and now sitting in an 0-2.
So here comes the 0-2 pitch. That off speed will just fall outside of the zone for a ball. Like he wanted that one called, as well as the Michigan faithful that just missed the zone. And we'll do it at a 1-2 count. So here comes the pitch. Oh, and that'll fall outside of the zone for a strike. And Allen, that weird off speed, kind of Ephus-like. I thought that found the zone, but
yeah,
Blue did not agree.
Be a tiny, tiny bit high.
Yep.
But these off-speed pitches are just missing.
So here comes the pitch. That'll fall outside of the zone to run the count full 3-2. Michigan faithful not approving of home plate umpire Matt Nieder's decisions behind the plate, showing their displeasure at a full count. So here comes the full count pitch, and that'll be rifled into left field. Velasquez chasing. That'll fall for a base hit. That'll be off the wall, and Kyle Ashworth will stand in at second with a double with 2 outs.
So Dernetti cut that one off, but stand-up double there for Ashworth as that one lands right in that kind of back corner, as Velasquez has to chase after it a little bit and make sure it doesn't get too out of hand. But kind of an unfortunate at-bat there for Allen as he got up in that count 0-2 and then was kind of scraping the edge of that strike box and was just missing.
Kind of 2 missed strike calls, in my opinion. From our view, that looked like a strike.
It looked good.
Yeah. So Charpignon will fly that one into center or left field, actually. Velasquez will make the play for the 3rd out of the inning, and Allen comes up with another shutout inning. That's a good chance that's the last time we see Chase Allen in this one. Good solid outing from Chase Allen, who was allowed 2 runs to come across in this one, as we will see the 2, 3, and 4 hitters for the Wolverines come up next here in the bottom of the 5th.
And with Allen, he had 87 pitches kind of after that inning, and so we'll see if he goes in any more or not. But from what we heard, we may not see much more of him, but allowed 7 hits, and while 7 hits is definitely not something that's too great, what he was able to do was work his way back into counts from being pretty far down and either get a ground out, get a strikeout, get something going for Michigan's offense. And especially in that inning, it seemed like Cole Caruso, who was working at third base, was able to get a lot going with that momentum, having 2 straight really great plays and 2 straight at-bats. Yeah. Was able to get those first 2 outs for Michigan. And although that 3rd out was a little bit delayed after a pretty long at-bat that I believe it was Lopez saw, then able to end the inning pretty easily with that fly out to left field that Velasquez and both Garcia were kind of chasing towards, but ultimately fell into Velasquez's hands.
You just got to feel for Allen. I mean, that last at-bat, or that one that caused a double, that was a strikeout. In my opinion, that was a strikeout from our view of the press box, right behind home plate. That looked like that caught the zone, but nonetheless, you still get your 3rd out, and you still produce a shutout inning in the top of the 5th and still maintain a 1-run lead here. As we move into the bottom of the 5th, still a 3-2 ball game, Michigan lead, and Alfredo Velasquez will step in, who, remember, replaced Bradley Navarro. Velasquez, a 2-way player for the Wolverines, normally comes out of the pen. The freshman mostly appears as a pinch runner or pinch hitter, but comes in as replacement. Will likely play the rest of this game. Takes that first pitch outside for a ball. So he's up 1-0. Takes that next pitch outside, and he's quickly up 2-0.
And Velasquez with just one start on the year. So, like you said, he mostly comes in to either pinch run, pinch hit. And while he came in for the field today, this is his 24th appearance. With
So the next pitch will find the gap in between short and third, and that'll be a base hit for Velasquez. And that's a leadoff runner for the Wolverines with the power threat and Steven Hrustich stepping into the box.
And I was just about to say, Velasquez has an average of 0.77, so not a great average on the season, but able to find a little bit of a gap between third base and the third baseman there for Long Beach State, and able to get on. And you know, this is a great start for Michigan's inning with Hrustich, the power hitter, coming up to bat for Michigan, and already a runner on first and no outs. So great positioning here for Michigan to potentially add some more scoring.
And Hrustich will take that first pitch away. That'll find right field. Velasquez will take the turn and head for third, and he will stand up there safe. And now there's runners in the corners for the Wolverines. With 0 outs, and the cleanup hitter and Colin Priest will step in. Great piece of hitting from both Velasquez and Hrustich as well to get aggressive on Montgomery early in counts, as Montgomery will eclipse 90 on the next pitch in this one against Priest. Just great piece of hitting in this lineup and very aggressive early.
And that was Hrustich, just his only hit on the day today, but had that walk in the first inning that ultimately drove him in. So able to get his day, or his bat, singing a little bit as he sends it out into left field. But now Priest up.
Colin Priest will swing again at that first pitch. That'll be fouled down the first base line, and Priest doubled in his first plate appearance, grounded to second in his last. Looking to make some damage here and extend the Wolverine lead with Velasquez just 90 feet away. So Montgomery will deliver. That'll be into the turf to even it up 1-1.
And with that Hrustich hit, now A.J. Garcia and Lakey were the only two Michigan batters that don't have a hit on the day today. As I mean, it's just that first and last batter, so all that entire middle of Michigan's lineup has done a great job of getting on base.
That next pitch will find the zone for a strike, and now it is a 1-2 count with no outs, runners in the corners. And then you just talk about depth as far as the Wolverine lineup. You can go to multiple people and ask them to produce a hit, and they'll do it. You don't have to rely on a few guys to do that. And that's been pivotal to their Big Ten success, as Montgomery will fire that to first to check Hrustich, but he will be safe. So still runners at the corners with no outs and a 1-2 count to Colin Priest, the freshman designated hitter. So here comes the pitch. That'll be fouled back. We'll do it again in the 1-2 count.
And kind of fouled off of Priest himself, so probably doesn't feel all too good, but still sitting at a kind of unfavorable 1-2 count for him. But Priest has found some success today with that double all the way back in the first, and although the ground out in the third, could do something here with no outs and a runner in scoring position.
So Montgomery will fire to Hrustich at first. He will be safe again. No pickoff attempt by Montgomery has been successful, despite about 5 or 6 of them in this game. So still runners to the corners. 1-2 count to Colin Priest. Velasquez at third, Hrustich at first. And that'll be fouled back. Weird play there.
It seemed like it kind of came off the bat and then might have hit the glove. It was definitely a weird little play there, but count will still stay 1-2.
So Colin Priest hugging the plate there in a 1-2 count. Montgomery will exhale, take a breath. That'll not find the zone, high and up, to run the count even 2-2.
Michigan batters doing a great job of staying alive even when they fall back in count. We saw with Crusoe and then last inning, and now with Priest here.
Priest will take that first pitch, and Hammond will not be able to make a play. Velasquez will score. Hrustich will take the turn and head for third. And Priest, with an RBI single that just gets past Jack Hammond's glove at first, will extend the Michigan lead, and it's now a 4-2 ball game.
So just like that, 2 straight singles brings in Velasquez all the way after he hit that first ball. So a hit to left field, and then that hit from Priest to right field brings in Michigan's first run since the second inning, and will extend their lead 4-2 as they still have no outs and runners are again on the corner. So same situation as the last at-bat that Priest had will now go to Longo, who again had a very strong day yesterday.
And even a strong game today, drove in a run off a single in the first.
Yep, so definitely doing a good job of building some momentum here for Michigan's offense.
Couldn't have asked for a better start to the inning. Joe Longo will take that first pitch low for a ball, so he's up 1-0. I can't see if the Dirtbags are going to anybody in the pen or if they're going to stick with Montgomery. It's still no outs in this one, as you said, Zach. As that pitch will be popped up, that'll be trailing down the first base line. That might trail just out of play. Hammond will actually make the play along the wall. Great defensive play from Jack Hammond at first. He had to cover a lot of ground and play the wind there.
Yeah, the wind definitely got
that
a piece
took
of that. Yeah, and so Hammond, although wasn't able to make the play on that last single that Priest just hit, that pop fly from Longo that looked like it was just maybe going out.
Yeah, I thought that get out.
That
was just along the wall for Hammond to make the play. So Cole Caruso will step in, who singled in the last plate appearance. Singled to center. So Priest on first, Hrustich at third rather. And we will see a mound visit to Montgomery with the Dirtbag pitching staff.
Yeah,
maybe I shouldn't say Dirtbag pitching coach. That sounds wrong.
Definitely not a bad decision here to do a little mound visit, check out a little bit, especially with, I mean, that out definitely helps a little bit of the momentum, as Michigan had pretty much all of it after they had 3 straight singles. But, you know, that fly out could bring a little bit back here, but looks like
Montgomery's
day's done.
Going out of the game. I was just going to note the pitch count.
Yep.
It's at 97, so we will see a call to the pen for the Dirtbags. Cannot see a number.
Can't get an eye. It looks like it could be 38.
38. That was my initial.
Yep.
So that'll be Colin Miskelly, the two-way player for the Dirtbags. Plays first base, but also a right-handed pitcher for them as well. The freshman from Anaheim, California, has pitched 3 1/3 innings so far, is sitting on a 16.2 ERA, has had 6 strikeouts, 3 walks so far in his career with Long Beach State. So he is in a spot here. The pitching staff willing to give him the keys in this one to keep things at a 2-run margin with runners at the corners. And that first warm-up pitch gets away from him.
And Miskelly only has just about 3 innings pitched, and a little over 16 ERA. So definitely an inexperienced pitcher coming in for Long Beach State.
But in a non-conference game like this is where you want to give players like Miskelly a chance. So this is his 3rd appearance on the season.
So only averages about an inning every appearance.
Yeah. So again, he's listed on the roster as a 2-way player, but has only appeared on the mound, has not seen any at-bats or fielding experience at first base. So at least in his freshman campaign, he is primarily a bullpen pitcher.
Yep.
So we are about to get underway. So again, Priest on first, Hrustich on third with 1 out. Mac Timbrook, the on-base and contact machine for the Wolverines, due up next. 1 run already came across for the Wolverines. It's a 2-4 ball game here in the bottom of the 5th. So Miskelly comes in a spot to just, stop the bleeding, keep things at a 2-run margin. And, Montgomery had a great game. Had some up and downs, a roller coaster of an appearance. Had looked dialed in to start and then kind of faltered down the stretch.
Yeah, had a great first 2 at bats and did a great job in those first 2 batters for the Michigan lineup. And I mean, the last 2 innings, He allowed no runs, and it was just this 5th inning that
certainly
he
figured
finally allowed
something
another
out.
one.
Yeah, certainly figured something out against Garcia and Navarro, and yeah, just down the stretch kind of faltered. Certainly, you know, not going to be ecstatic about that appearance, but not going to be too upset about it as well. So we will get underway. Cole Caruso will step in as Miss Kelly will get ready, the lefty. Caruso will bunt that. Great play from Newman to corral that one in for the 2nd out of the inning. And that was popped with just enough loft for him to make the play in foul territory, and Mac Timbrook will step in with runners at the corners with now 2 outs. So great pitching from Miss Kelly. Quick out, 1 for him, but 2nd for the Dirtbags.
Yeah, and so great 2 at-bats there for the Dirtbags. Is had the fly out on that first base line, and then that kind of bunt fly out type thing that happened, you know, made it so that 2 straight kind of runners at the corner could potentially bring in a bunch of runs, but now with 2 outs, you know, a sac fly is kind of out of the play, and Timbrook kind of has to land it in a little bit in order to get this run in.
So Timbrook will settle in. Miss Kelly will deliver into the turf. Both runners will advance, so Hrustic will score, and now it is a 3-run ball game. 5-3 your score off a wild off-speed pitch from Miss Kelly on that one. So Priest stands on second.
Certainly not the way I was expecting that 5th run for Michigan to come in.
No.
But, I mean, with the inexperience that Miss Kelly brings, not necessarily too surprising considering he only has about 3 innings pitched this year.
Right.
So either way, Michigan now extending their lead, and runners still in scoring position.
So here comes the 1-0 pitch. That'll fall outside of the zone to run it to a 2-0 count. And I was seeing Miss Kelly warm up. There was a few pitches that just got away from him.
Yeah.
And I figured he'd dial that in, but that just got away from Newman to allow the run in Hrustic to score. As that next pitch will fall into the zone for a strike, and now it is a 2-1 count to Mac Timbrook at the plate, who singled and scored in his first plate appearance, but grounded to second in his last. So 1 for 2 on the day. Skelly will look back to second, will fire, and that'll be fouled high and back out of play to run the count even 2-2.
So Newman, aside from that, kind of that last play, is doing a great job, kind of like I said a couple innings ago, of keeping the balls in check and making sure that none of the pitches get too far away. That one just a little bit too crazy as it bounced way in front of the plate there.
Yeah, that was about 5 feet in front of the plate.
Yep.
So Miskelly, another off speed. We grounded to Lopez at second, who will fire to first for the 3rd out of the inning. But Michigan in this bottom of the 5th inning will plate 2 to make this a 5-2 ball game, and the Dirtbags see a pitching change, and we will not see a pitching change for the Wolverines. However, Chase Allen will come out here in the top of the 6th, 88 on his pitch count. So, and Will Rogers still active in the pen, so if things, again, get out of hand for Allen, I'm sure they will defer to Rogers.
Yep.
And I wouldn't be shocked if this was Allen's last inning of work here in this one, but I did say that in the last inning, so
yeah.
take my advice with a grain of salt.
You never know, and again, we talked to that assistant coach at the beginning of the game and talked about how this, again, would be a great confidence booster for Allen, as he's had a pretty good season so far to this point, and so this game would certainly, I mean, with just 2 runs so far and on 7 hits, he's done a great job of containing the Long Beach State offense to make sure, again, that confidence gets raised a little bit. And so, although his pitch count keeps rising, his confidence surely is doing so as well. So
yeah, he certainly dialed it in. He allowed 1 in the 1st, 1 in the 3rd, but the rest have been goose eggs from Chase Allen. So again, consistently, he's just gotten better throughout this start, and I think this exceeded the expectations. It seemed like, or at least the vibe we got from the assistant coach. I think this meets expectations or exceeds them as well. Cannot be disappointed in Allen's performance in this one, as Connor Sharpio will step in for his 3rd plate appearance in this one.
And Allen did bring down his ERA from 7.78 to now 7.31 on the season. So again, like we've been talking about, doing a good job of keeping up that confidence.
Yep, Allen certainly boost his confidence there with a first pitch strike to, Newman Jr., the senior catcher will step in. He singled in both of his plate appearances, so this would be a good out for Allen. As now the count runs even on a low pitch in the turf. So 1-1 count to John Newman Jr. The next pitch will be popped up into center field. Darnetti. Garcia actually calls it off. Will make the diving play for the out. Garcia had to cover a lot of ground. Called off Darnetti, who looked like he had the play, but Garcia called him off to make the play for a out number 1.
It seemed like Garcia called him off before he realized he would have to go.
Yeah, I don't think he knew he had to cover that much.
Yeah, and so while Newman kind of had Allen's number a little bit in his first 2 at-bats with those 2 singles that you mentioned, that one will kind of end his perfect streak at the plate, as he'll fall to 2 and 3 on the day, and now Lopez will come up to bat, who's 1 for 2.
Yep, Adrian Lopez playing second in this one. Takes that first pitch into the zone for a strike. So Allen, again, 2 straight batters faced in this frame has resulted in first pitch strike, so that certainly helps the confidence.
Absolutely.
So he will deliver on the 0-1 pitch. That'll be into the turf for a ball to even it up 1-1.
Lopez had that single in the 4th to left field. Ultimately, nothing came out of it as still in that 4th inning, Long Beach State unable to get on the scoring board. And like we said, they haven't scored since that 3rd inning, so Michigan doing a good job, and Chase Allen specifically doing a good job of containing him.
So Lopez will take that next pitch foul way out of play and will do it at a 1-2 count. Allen ahead on Adrian Lopez. Doing that very effectively in this frame, getting into pitchers' counts. So here comes the pitch. That'll be low, that off speed. Just catches the turf there to even it up 2-2 with 1 out. Nobody on here in the top of the 6th.
Allen's off speed is kind of been a tale of 2 stories.
Yeah. Lopez will fire that to Darnetti, who looked like had the play but just skipped by him into center field for a base hit. I assume that he scored a base hit. So
yeah, it seemed
Lopez
like
stands on first.
It was a pretty choppy ball there to Darnetti, so I would not be surprised if that falls in as a single.
Actually, fielding error on Darnetti. So that's Michigan's first error on the day, as Alex Champagne will step in. Walked in his last plate appearance. So the Dirtbags have a runner on first in Lopez. The center fielder in Champagne steps in. So Allen will deliver the first pitch. That'll not find the zone. So the count's now 1-0.
This is the first batter this inning where he hasn't started with a first pitch strike.
Yep. That pitch will find the zone, though, to even it up 1-1. So good clawback despite the first pitch ball. Allen will step onto the rubber. Will wait and deliver. That just misses the zone. Like he wanted that one framed and had it framed well, but no flinching from Blue behind the dish. So it's a 1-1 count. Allen will deliver. That'll be fouled down the third base line, out of play, and we'll do it at a 1-2 count coming up. Allen, 96 pitches on the day so far through 5 1/3. Rogers warming up in the pen, so if things do get out of hand in the Dirtbags' favor, I'm sure they will defer to Rogers, as Allen will deliver and take a big cut at that one for a strikeout. That is Allen's first on the day, actually. And that's a big out number 2 for Chase Allen on the mound.
Now Chase Allen's pitch count all the way up to now over 100 pitches, 101 on the day. And I mean, we definitely didn't think we would see this, and now it looks like Tracy Smith is making his way out. Would not be surprised if this ends Chase Allen's day. And Tracy Smith clapping a little bit as he walks on his way out, as Chase Allen did a really good job here of containing the Dirtbags offense for the majority of the day.
I'm sure the max set for this game for Chase Allen was 100 pitches.
Yep.
I'm sure this was all schedule. A great outing from Chase Allen, who it looked like in the first kind of things got out of hand. I mean, a shaky start with allowing 1 run in the first, but really dialed it in, became more consistent down the stretch. So he is done for the day. Allowed 2 off 7 hits, 1 strikeout. No 2 walks allowed on 101 pitches. So if things stay status quo, he is in the cards for the win. So Will Rogers will step in, the reliable bullpen presence for the Wolverines.
It definitely surprised me that Chase Allen's first strikeout of the game was just his last at bat.
I thought he had a few earlier.
Yeah, he definitely made himself known on the mound there, made sure he was keeping all those batters in check, and did a great job. Only 2 runs, as you mentioned, on the day with those 7 hits. So Chase Allen, a very successful day, and see what Will Rogers can do here in relief.
Yep. So Will Rogers on the season with a 5.8 ERA, 24 strikeouts, 14 walks. The transfer from Arizona State, and has been a reliable 2-way player for the Wolverines this season. In the watch list for the 2-way Player of the Year award, along with his teammate Mitch Voigt. He's been a very versatile presence for the Wolverines this season, and settles into a spot that he's very comfortable in, coming out of the bullpen in this one. To keep things at a 3-run margin. Your score here through 5 2/3 is Michigan 5, Long Beach State 2.
And as we reach the bottom 3 batters here in the Long Beach State lineup, although there are 2 outs, we'll definitely see Briseño, who's 2 for 2 on the day with a double and a single. So he's had some success against Chase Allen. We'll see if he can translate that success over to Will Rogers. And after Newman was out kind of back earlier in the inning, early last inning, Briseño is the only batter that remains perfect on the day for either team. So see if he can continue that.
So here comes the first pitch from Rogers. That'll be popped up behind the press box, foul. So Rogers quickly up 0-1 to Armando Briseño, the shortstop in this one. And as you said, Zach, 2 for 2 with a single in the second, or a double in the second, single in his last. So Rogers will deliver. That'll be in the turf for a ball to even it up 1-1.
Briseño's 296 average has climbed from what it was at the beginning of the game today. So on the verge of reaching that 300 average on the season. So doing a great job of getting on base, getting contact with the ball.
So Lopez will dart for second. Briseño will hit that into right field. That'll be off the wall for a base hit, over the wall for a ground rule double, and that'll stop the runner in Lopez from scoring. And, you know, that was a bad break for the Wolverines when that happened earlier. Same thing happens to the Dirtbags, so that's evened out. But nonetheless, Briseño comes up big, and it's 3 for 3 now.
Yeah.
Comes up with a ground rule double and advances Lopez to third. So now with 2 outs, Cole Santander will step in. The designated hitter in this one will step in with runners on second and third. 2 runners in scoring position for the Dirtbags. And Will Rogers, coming out of the pen, has to get himself out of a jam. So here comes the first pitch in the at-bat. That'll fall outside of the zone for a ball.
Santander has struggled today with a ground out and a double play. So all of his contact has reached the infield, but nothing has really gotten past.
So here comes the 1-0 pitch from Rogers, and Santander will rocket that one over to center field, over Garcia's head for a base hit. 2 runners will score, and Lopez and Briseño, and Santander will stand up at second. And that is a 2 RBI double for Cole Santander. And it is a 5-4 ball game. Wolverines still up.
So it seems like I kind of jinxed it there. I mean, had those two kind of dribblers on the infield, and then that one is just shot right over the head of A.J. Garcia. I mean, that was a rocket all the way into center field.
No chance from A.J. Garcia to make the play on that one. So it's a 1-run ball game all of a sudden, and Jack Hammond will step in, the first baseman. So here comes the first pitch. That'll fall outside of the zone for a ball. That pitch was low. Good take from Jack Hammond.
And don't want to jinx another one here, but again, two ground outs for Hammond as both of them went to third base. See maybe if not Chase Allen, if Will Rogers can end the inning.
That pitch is inside, nearly hits Jack Hammond, and now Rogers is quickly down 2-0. Still 2 outs for the Wolverines to get out of this rough top of the 6th. So Rogers will check the runner, will deliver to the plate. That'll fall into the zone for a strike, so he works himself into a more favorable count, 2-1. With Santander standing on second with 2 outs. Hammond's ready. Rogers delivers. That'll fall into the zone, even it up, 2-2. Good fight from Rogers on the mound.
Those are 2 straight great pitches there from Will Rogers, finding kind of that bottom left corner of the zone on both those pitches. So good job working his way back, now 2-2.
So here comes the 2-2 pitch. That'll be high and away for a ball to run the count full, 3-2. So Hammond, full count here with a runner on second and Santander. Rogers only needs 1 more out to get out of the jam. So here comes the pitch. That'll be fouled way down the first base line, out of play.
That one will hit a car out in the parking lot.
Well, to park at your own risk in that parking lot. Yeah, that one hit a car pretty solidly. You can hear that one through the headset. So here we are, 3-2 count, 2 outs. And that'll be rifled to Darnetti, who will make the play for the easy line out. And the Wolverines will get out of the jam, but the Dirtbags plate 2 to make this a 5-4 ball game as we move into the bottom of the second. Darnetti, Lightgeeb, and AJ Garcia are due up next for the Wolverines.
Now, though Chase Allen had a really good start to that inning, right when Will Rogers came in, it seemed like something clicked.
Yep.
For Long Beach State, as both Santander and Hammond were able to get it out. And so, although 2 more runs were tallied on for Long Beach State, Michigan will still hold this lead. And
you know, I get, you know, capping your pitchers at a certain pitch count, like 100 pitches. I'm sure that was the count, as it was 101 when they took Allen out. But in that spot, I don't think Chase Allen was more dialed in this game than that spot.
I agree, yeah.
I don't know. I would have kept him in, knowing, you know, he just came off a strikeout. He, you know, efficiently put out his first 2 batters, and then you take him out in that spot. I don't know. That's a little bit of a question to me personally, but I understand keeping your pitchers healthy. You don't want to, you know, tire them out with, you know, 100 plus in and out in. But I question that personally, because it seemed like he was clicking.
I certainly agree. And definitely with this non-conference game, again, like you mentioned, there's that argument that, you know, you want to keep all your pitchers healthy, make sure that no one, you know, reaches a pitch count where they become uncomfortable and really can't pitch anymore. So, I mean, essentially, you know, 3, 4, 5 more pitches and that could have ended the inning. But, you know, Tracy Smith wanted to make sure all of his players remain healthy and make sure that Chase Allen doesn't wear out his arm too much, as he already reached that pitch count on a great day. So definitely a questionable decision, and ultimately Michigan paid a little bit for it with those 2 runs. But
yeah, but you never know. You never know. So you'll live with it. So Kyle Darnetti again will step in to lead off. Colin Miskelly will still step in on the mound for the Dirtbags. So here comes the first pitch. That'll find the zone for a strike. Darnetti produced a RBI double in his first plate appearance, but struck out in his last. So Miskelly will fire again. That's way outside to even it up 1-1.
Great job by Newman there again.
Yeah.
Reaching out, making sure that one doesn't get too far, although no one on base to capitalize off of it. Still a great grab.
So Darnetti will wait for Miskelly, who will deliver. That's high and nearly at the head level to run the count 2-1. And an update on the car, and event staff found the car. They're circling it. I didn't see anybody frantically running out of the stands. So I don't think the damage is too bad. So 2-1 count. Here comes pitch from Miskelly that will miss the zone again to run it to a 3-1 count to Darnetti. So here comes the 3-1 pitch from Miskelly. That'll find the zone for a strike to run the count full. Great catch-up pitching from Miskelly.
Darnetti did a great job of working that count to 3-1, although this full count here could result in his second strikeout of the game.
So here comes the pitch. Darnetti will foul that one back and will do it again at a full count.
And that one was right in the middle of the zone, so Darnetti doing a good job. Just kind of staying alive on that one.
So Darnetti staying alive with a full count, no outs, nobody on for the Wolverines here in the bottom of the 6th. Darnetti will again foul that one back, slams into the press box. Great snag by Fan off the bounce.
That one hit about 5-6 windows away from us, so it's a beautiful day today. We have our window open, so
maybe we can get a souvenir. That'd be kind of cool.
That would be kind of cool. A little scary, but
yeah, that'd be a little
definitely
scary,
be pretty cool.
So that pitch will find the zone for a strike, and Darnetti for the second time is punched out looking. So that is Miskelly's first of the game.
Yep.
Coming out of the pen, and Brock Leitke will step in.
And so now Michigan reaching the part of the lineup where neither of these two batters have made contact or reached base today, with Leitke 0 for 2, and then Garcia 0 for 3.
That first pitch to Leitke is high for a ball. So with 1 out, he is up 1-0. AJ Garcia on the deck, and yet again the lineup card will flip over for the Wolverines. So here comes the pitch. That'll be fouled down the third base line to even it up 1-1.
So Leitke, after going 0-2 on the day, his average falls to 136. Hoping to make a little mark here.
He will take that next pitch up and out for a ball. So 2-1 count, good eye from the freshman catcher, who has sporadically seen the lineup so far this season. So here comes the 2-1 pitch. He'll take a big cut at that one. Fooled by the off-speed pitch that was pretty much in the turf.
Yeah.
So now the count runs to 2-2 with 1 out, nobody on for the Wolverines. And that next pitch finds the zone for a strike, so 2 straight punch-outs for Colin Miskelly to start this bottom of the 6th. Punches out the number 8 and 9 hitters for the Wolverines as the lineup card flips over to AJ Garcia, who has 2 strikeouts already in this game.
Yeah, and Miskelly did a great job of ending the inning last inning after a couple runs were allowed, and now already on track, has 2 strikeouts already. And again, AJ Garcia also has 2 strikeouts, so potentially a third for each of them would be unfortunate for Michigan and fortunate for Long Beach State.
Garcia will show bunt, will pull back as that pitch is outside of the zone. So it's a 1-0 count. Miskelly seems to have found a rhythm so far, following 2 straight punch-outs, looking to punch out Garcia. So here comes the pitch. That'll not find the zone for a ball, and Garcia's quickly up 2-0.
So Garcia looking to change the tides a little bit on a better count than what he's seen earlier today. Hoping to potentially get on base as first 2 batters both struck out of this inning.
So here comes the 2-0 pitch. Again, that'll miss the zone to run the count 3-0. Good eye from Garcia to stay patient.
Certainly a close pitch there. That one seemed to be right on the edge, but Blue didn't bite on that one, so 3-0.
3-0 pitch. That will find the zone to run it 3-1. Good makeup pitch from Miskelly to continue fighting on the mound. So here comes the pitch, 3-1. That will again find the zone. So good job from Colin Miskelly to claw back from a 3-0 deficit to work the count full to AJ Garcia. And we will do it at a full count with 2 outs. So here comes the pitch. That'll be up for a ball. So AJ Garcia will take the 2-out free pass as Alfredo Velasquez will step in with a runner on first. And you have to note Garcia's speed on the base pass.
Yep.
Has had a 50% success rate as far as stolen bases, stolen 5 off 10 attempts. I would not be shocked if they sent him. That'd be a very aggressive spot, though.
Yeah, most attempts of anyone in this lineup, so yeah, definitely would not be surprised. But with 2 outs,
that's aggressive.
Yeah, it's definitely aggressive.
Velasquez will take that first pitch outside of the zone for a ball. That was up. And that's a small strike zone for Velasquez, who stands at 5'8". So that is certainly a challenge for opposing pitchers as Miskelly will deliver. That will find the zone to even it up 1-1.
Again, Velasquez came in after kind of doing an outfield swap for Navarro after Navarro had 2 straight strikeouts to start the game. And so Velasquez was successful in his first at-bat in the 5th with a single. So overall, a good substitution from the Michigan coaching staff.
Miskelly will check Garcia at first to no tag, so he will still stand at first in a 1-1 count with 2 outs. Rustich on deck. Velasquez stands in, the lefty. Lefty on lefty matchup here as Miskelly will deliver, who will check his swing. Did not break the plane according to the third base umpire. So now the count is 2-1.
And again, 2 outs here, so not sure how much room Michigan has to operate to add some more scoring onto the board, but I mean, potentially if Velasquez gets on base, you have Hrustich up next, so could be a good spot for some power hitting.
Garcia goes. Newman will fire that one off, way off target. And Garcia, that'll be a 6th stolen base, and that was certainly aggressive base running from the Wolverines. We called it from here in the booth.
Yep. Ultimately a good decision, though.
Yeah. That was a errant throw, but luckily Lopez was playing behind Brasino, who was going to make the tag. Prevented that from seeping into center. So the 3-1 pitch will not find the zone, and that is 2 straight walks from Colin Miskelly, who punched out the previous 2 before Garcia. So it's an up and down inning for Colin Miskelly.
Yep. As
the power bat in Steven Hrustich will step in.
Looks like catcher is telling some signs to the infield to maybe make some adjustments.
Seems like the infield is shading slightly left.
We'll get a mound visit here from the coaching staff.
I can't. Yeah, we got a bad view. I can't see if anybody's in the visitor bullpen. I doubt they would make the change now.
Yeah, I mean, with 2 strikeouts at the beginning of the inning, two straight walks isn't super favorable, but still in a good position.
Yeah, I would ride out Miskelly in this one. But still, you're in a jam with a runner in scoring position in Garcia, who is a speed threat. And anything in the outfield would likely give him a good chance to score. You still have Velasquez on first and the power bat in Hrustich, who leads the team in home runs, a team leader in RBI, and can truly make some damage when making contact. So this is a big spot for the Wolverines to try to expand the lead. So the mound visit is broken up, and we will get underway as Steven Hrustich will step in with 2 outs and 2 on here in the bottom of the 6th.
And in his 3 at-bats, he's 1 for 2 on the day with a walk and a single. So his single was most recent in that 5th inning, so could potentially play off of that momentum that he gained a couple innings back, but see if he can make his mark here.
So the first pitch will not find the zone. That is up and in for a ball. Seeing a lot of patience up and down this Michigan lineup in this game, and we've seen that all season. Just patience and tenacity from the Wolverine lineup. So here comes the next pitch. That's a big swing. Partially announcer's jinx there. To even it up 1-1. That's a big cut from Hrustic, but that was a good pitch.
Yeah, it was a great pitch. I mean,
elevated and out.
If Hrustic made contact with that, I mean,
Yeah.
he swung for the fences, so that would have been a great hit, but nonetheless, good pitch there.
So Miskelly will deliver. That will miss the zone to make it a 2-1 count. And that was Hrustic's pitch right there. An elevated fastball, a little on the outside part of the plate, and he really could have done some damage making contact on that one. So it's a 2-1 count, 2 outs, 2 on. And that'll be popped up. Hammond shades over into foul territory to make the play for the 3rd out, and that's an unfortunate sequence. Fortunate ending for the Wolverines in a good scoring chance here in the bottom of the 6th. So Michigan plates none, and Will Rogers will step onto the mound again, look for a better inning relative to the last for Will Rogers.
And looking at Miskelly for Long Beach State, had upwards of 30 pitches total and just about an inning played because he came in kind of middle of the 5th inning and then rode out that 6th inning. So had quite a few pitches.
Yeah.
And started the inning great with those 2 strikeouts, but 2 straight walks, forced a mound visit, and ultimately that raises pitch count pretty heavily. So Michigan able to prolong the inning there, ultimately to no avail. But today, like you said, Will Rogers coming back out here for Michigan, seeing if he can do a little bit better of a job than he did last inning as he allowed those 2 runs.
So we will see how Will Rogers responds. He will see the top of the order. Yeah, he will see the top of the order. 1, 2, 3. So this is certainly a challenge. It will not be easy for Will Rogers, but nonetheless, he has come up in some of these big situations throughout the season. No defensive changes for the Wolverines. Still status quo from the last change, where Velasquez and Hrustic swapped the corner outfield spots. So Ty Borgano will step in, the leadoff hitter, hitting 0 for 2 in this one. Walked in his first plate appearance, but grounded out in his last 2. So he will step into the righty batter's box against the righty and Rogers, who will deliver. And that'll fall into the zone for a strike. 0-1.
Again, Borgano, top of this lineup here, 162 average. He's fallen a little bit after going 0 for 2.
Borgano will rifle that to Darnetti, who will make the jumping grab. So that's a quick line out by Ty Borgano. That's a quick out number 1 for Will Rogers. Certainly has to appreciate that on the mound, relying on the defense to make plays. As Kyle Ashworth will step in for the Dirtbags.
Great catch there from Darnetti, too, as he's seen a couple go just over his head, and so probably pretty fulfilling getting that catch there.
So that first pitch by Rogers against Ashworth will not find the zone. That'll be in the turf for a ball. Crusoe playing short. And that second pitch will not find the zone again, so Ashworth quickly up 2-0. Good job working to a hitter's count. Rogers will deliver. That will find the zone for a strike, so he's worked himself into a more favorable count, 2-1 with 1 out. And Ashworth in his last plate appearance doubled to left field. 1 for 3 on the day, still hitting over 300 on the season. So Will Rogers will deliver. That'll nearly hit Ashworth. That'll not find the zone. So it is a 3-1 count. Ashworth will wait. That will find the zone for a strike to run the count full, 3-2. That just painted the inside part of the plate. Good job by Will Rogers to work himself into a full count here despite being down. So here comes the full count pitch to Ashworth. And that'll be fired to Timbrook at second, who will corral that one in for the second out of the inning. So both middle infielders making plays to help Will Rogers on the mound against this top of the Dirtbag order.
And good play there by Timbrook. And Ashworth thought that second strike there might have gotten a little bit inside and was his fourth ball to get to first base, but umpire decided otherwise and then ended up getting the ground out on that next play. So turn a little bit of the tides there for Michigan as now with 2 outs.
So with 2 outs, Connor Sharpio will take that first pitch in for a strike. Good off speed from Will Rogers. Sharpio 1 for 3 on the day, doubled in the third inning. You take a big cut at that one, way out in front of the off speed pitch. Will Rogers had him fooled there, and Will Rogers quickly up 0-2 with 2 outs.
Potentially very quick half inning here for Will Rogers.
So here comes the payoff pitch. That is high for a ball. 1-2 count.
Trying to get him again with that off speed, but it goes a little bit high. So Sharpio doesn't bite on that one, but still a favorable count for Will Rogers.
Yeah, I don't blame him for going to that off speed again. He's been fooling the top of this order so far with that off speed. So here comes the pitch. And again, the off speed finds Sharpio way out in front for the punch out. That'll be Will Rogers' first on the day out of the pen, and that's certainly a substantial improvement from Will Rogers on the mound relative to his last frame of work.
Yeah, and that's probably exactly what Will Rogers was looking for after having a little bit of a slower top of that 6th inning. The top of the 7th, he just goes 1, 2, 3, makes it easy. Quick work of the Dirtbags, and they'll go all the way down to back to Michigan in the bottom of the 7th.
Yep, exactly. So we will see the heart of the Michigan order, 4, 5, 6 coming up next. Colin Priest due up first, who has had a great game, 2 for 3 so far on the day. Drove in a run off a single in his last, so he's looking to catapult some offensive production here in the bottom of the 7th. Still a 5-4 ball game Michigan lead. Miskelly still on the mound for the Dirtbags.
And now Michigan has scored 2 runs in that bottom of the 5th inning. However, hasn't really scored outside of that since the 2nd. So maybe looking, now that they're in the heart of the lineup with Priest, who's, again, like you said, 2 for 3 on the day, could potentially get something started here for Michigan that could help build on a lead. Kind of similar to yesterday, where we saw it was Longo who kind of got things started at the bottom of the 7th for Michigan, opened up the scoring and regained the lead. And then ultimately the bottom of the 8th is what blew it up from there. But something similar today would be very helpful for Michigan, as these last few innings, as you saw yesterday, could be a big turn of the tide in these games.
Especially with a 1-run margin, still anything could happen for both teams. So Colin Priest will step in. No defensive changes for the Dirtbags as we head into the bottom of the 7th inning stretch here at Ray Fisher Stadium, now complete. Miskelly will step onto the rubber. Priest will step into the lefty batter's box. DHing in this one again, 2 for 3. Drove in a run off a single in his first one. That first pitch for Miskelly will find the turf for a ball. Stone cold take from the designated hitter in Priest. Miskelly will fire. That will find the zone to even it up 1-1. Good job painting that outside part of the plate. Miskelly is ready and fires. That'll be fouled straight back to run it to a 1-2 count.
And Priest, with that single back in the 5th, had his 20th RBI in the season. And so now Priest joins pretty much the rest of the Michigan lineup that also has 20-plus RBIs.
Now the count runs even 2-2. A pitch way outside from Miskelly. So the 2-2 pitch coming to Priest, one of the better freshman bats for the Wolverines this season. That off-speed pitch will not find the zone to run the count full 3-2. Interesting placement on that curveball to be up and in.
Yeah.
Must have slipped out of his hand there. Nonetheless, count runs full, 3-2 to Colin Priest with no outs, nobody on for the Wolverines. And that pitch will be fouled just in front of the Michigan dugout. Foul, and we'll do it again in the full count. That's an interesting choice by Priest to swing at that one. That did not look particularly close to the zone. That looked nearly at the hands. Lucky to make contact.
Yeah.
So we'll do it again in the full count. Skelly waits, gets ready. So here comes the pitch from the southpaw. And that'll be fouled back off the roof of Yost. And we'll do it again, full count.
Colin Priest, again, back a couple innings ago, was the same player that kept pretty long at bat, so potentially doing the same thing here, although that first foul ball probably could have fallen in for that fourth ball.
Yeah.
Able to stay alive with that one. That would have been a strike.
So here, the next pitch again is way out of play, foul down the third base line. We'll do it again, full count. And I would tend to agree with you, Zach, that one foul off nearly at the hands would not have found the zone. So that surely would have been a walk, at least from up here, from our view.
Yep.
So Miskelly will get ready. Will wind up and deliver. Big swing and a miss from Colin Priest, and that is a big strikeout for Miskelly, his third out of the pen. So he has shown his flashes in this one against the Michigan lineup as Joe Longo will step in following the Priest punch out.
And Miskelly did a good job kind of at the top of both of these two innings that he started, gotten that first at-bat strikeout, and so setting the tone for the rest of the inning. And although...
So the Dirtbags will go to the pen. I believe they will go for a righty.
Yeah.
So Miskelly following the strikeout his day is done. Interesting choice.
Yeah. But great job for Miskelly bringing his ERA all the way down to nearly 10.
Yeah, certainly a season best performance from Miskelly out of the pen. So we will see a pitching change for the Dirtbags. They're third in this one. We will see who is that? See Jonathan Larga Espada coming out of the bullpen. The righty, the junior righty from Compton, California, sits on the year at 3.2 ERA, 19 2/3 pitched, 24 strikeouts and only allowing 4 walks. So he's that effective strikeout getter out of the pen. A big frame, 6'5", 200 pounds coming out of the pen. So he will come in with nobody on.
I wouldn't be surprised if we see Lars Spada for the rest of the game, just because, I mean, he's been a pretty efficient pitcher here for Long Beach State with, again, that ERA at 3.2. So very, very good pitcher that, again, hasn't made many starts, if any, but has pitched 19 innings, so does a good job of keeping other teams in check when they need it most. So we'll see if he's able to kind of hold the Wolverines down as maybe the Long Beach State offense tries to come back in it a little bit. Still down 5-4. They're going to need a little bit more than a strong outing on defense in order to come away with a win on this one, but potentially this substitution at pitcher could make the dividends to make it a game that is well within the Dirtbags' reach.
So Larga Espada, the 2-time transfer, was at Cypress College for 2 seasons before transferring to LA Harbor College, and has found a home this season at Long Beach State for the Dirtbags. Last pitched on Tuesday against California Baptist. Pitched one inning, allowed 3 hits on 1 earned. Just on Tuesday. So Joe Longo will step in, the first batter that Larga Espada faces in this one, with Cole Caruso on deck. Nobody on. Still a 5-4 ball game with 1 out. So Longo will step into the righty batter's box against the righty Larga Espada, who will deliver behind Joe Longo's back for a ball.
Not a great first pitch
No.
there from Larga Espada.
Completely miss by Larga Espada. So here comes the 1-0 pitch that found the zone. Largo unable to keep that in play to run the count even 1-1. So here comes the 1-1 pitch, and that'll be rifled to right center field. The right fielder will make the play, and that is Kyle Ashworth will make the play for the second out of the inning, as Cole Caruso will now step in, looking to start something with 2 outs.
And that was a pretty hard hit ball there, but honestly, a really good play by Ashworth as it kind of hooked to the right. He didn't really have to move all that much, and maybe with this wind, he would have thought he would have had to move a little bit more to his right.
Yeah, all these balls have been trailing from left to right.
Yep, for sure.
Larga Espada, Caruso will take that first pitch, and the left fielder and Sharpio will make the play for the third out. So that is a quick 2 outs for Larga Espada, who came out of the pen. And Michigan comes up with nothing in the bottom of the 7th. It is still a 5-4 ball game. 1 run separates the Wolverines and the Dirtbags as we move into the 8th inning.
And 2 pretty hard hit balls there in Larga Espada, but either way, the outfield doing a good job of tracking them and making sure that nothing comes out of them. But Will Rogers will stick to the mound here, and wouldn't be surprised if he sticks this one out, assuming he performs the same way he did last inning. Last inning again, 1-2-3. So did a good job of putting out the Dirtbag batters.
I would also anticipate Will Rogers. The pitching matchup right now, I would anticipate leaking over for the rest of the game. We don't see anybody in the Wolverine lineup, in the Wolverine bullpen, warming up or getting up and stretching. So I assume Will Rogers is going to ride this one out unless things get out of hand. So no defensive changes for the Wolverines. Still status quo from before. And Will Rogers will face the heart of the Dirtbag order, 4-5-6, with Newman starting off, followed by Lopez and Champagne.
And although Will Rogers has only allowed 10 doubles on the season, 2 of them have been today in that kind of first inning where he was picking up from where Chase Allen hit that 100th pitch. But since then, I mean, he's been great. He's done a good job of making sure that Long Beach State stays off the scoreboard despite allowing those first 2 initially. So hoping he can continue his momentum here into the top of the 8th and potentially keep them off the board.
So Will Rogers will find that first pitch into the zone for a strike. So he's up 0-1 against John Newman Jr., who sits on 2 for 3 on the day with 2 RBI singles, 1 in the first, 1 in the third. So he has been effective in this one. That next pitch will catch inside. That'll be a ball to even it up 1-1. The next pitch by Rogers will be rifled. Caruso making the play, has to rifle that one to first on a hop, but that will be safe. So good base running by John Newman Jr. Close play at first. But good play, but good corral by Caruso to prevent that from potentially being extra bases.
Yeah, and Newman Jr. has done a great job of just reaching base in general.
Yep.
He's 3 for 4 on the day, and all 3 of those hits have been singles to kind of different places all throughout. And so while he got those first 2 on Chase Allen and ultimately had that pop out, that third single has really proven that he's been a strong hitter today for Long Beach State, and opens it up with a runner on base here with kind of the meat of this Long Beach State lineup coming up.
So Will Rogers will attempt to pick off at first to no success, as Adrian Lopez will step in, who stands at 1 for 3 on the day on a single in the fourth, but scored on an error in his last. So Chapman will go to second. That slips out of Lightkeep's hand. That might be called catcher's or batter interference. So Newman will be sent back to first. So, yeah, Adrian Lopez will be called for batter's interference on that stolen base attempt from Newman. And Brian Peters, the Dirtbags coach, will come out to discuss the call with home plate umpire Matt Nieder.
And it seemed like he had that, and it just kind of like slipped out of his hand.
I thought it just slipped out of his hand. Me too.
Might have been a little it's kind of hard to tell, and
yeah,
obviously we don't know from his perspective if that batter had a big influence on it, but they are going to keep him at first base, and so.
Mm-hmm. So Tracy Smith will visit. Will Rogers in the infield as well will convene on the mound. So we see Jacob Denner getting warm. I don't know if that will mean we will see him. I would assume if this game is close, we might see an appearance from Denner, who is the reigning Big Ten Pitcher of the Week. Has had stellar performances of late. Has been a true anchor for this Wolverine pitching staff. So I assume if things stay a run-one ball game, we will see him in a leverage spot. I'm sure this is just a discussion to dial it in for Rogers as the infield will retreat back and Tracy Smith will go back to the dugout. So there's a runner on first in Newman, who was easily safe on that stolen base attempt, but that was called back by batter's interference.
So still no outs in this inning.
Right.
We'll see if Adrian Lopez can continue the hitting success that Newman started this inning.
So Rogers will look over at first. Will deliver. Lopez will show bunt. Cleanly fielded by Rogers, who check back to first, but will check back to second, throw it to first to Longo for the first out of the inning. But nonetheless, Newman will advance into scoring position, and the Dirtbags have a runner on second.
Yeah, it seemed like Will Rogers was definitely looking to try and get that double play, but ultimately held off, and probably a smart decision, just because I don't know if it would have made it there.
I would agree.
And especially with Lopez being a pretty strong base runner as it is, didn't know if he could turn two, so just got the force out, got the easy out there, and although there's a running and scoring position now, 1 out instead of 0.
So in steps Alex Champagne, who takes that first pitch into the zone for a strike. Sits at 0 for 2, and his last plate appearance was punched out.
And Champagne still 0 for 2 on the day with a .263 average.
And that's fouled straight back right above us. Good catch. Yeah, that was straight back into the radio booth here at Ray Fisher Stadium, and Champagne's quickly down 0-2.
So we'll see that this could be a very, very big moment here for Will Rogers to potentially put one out.
And that next pitch will find the turf to make it a 1-2 count. That was good pitch selection from Rogers, looking for the punch out on that off speed. It seems like Rogers has found a home with that off speed pitch against this Dirtbag lineup. And that pitch will again be a ball to even it up 2-2. To Alex Champagne with a runner on second with Newman Jr. Has stolen 13 bags on the season. So a base running threat in scoring position. Rogers stares down. Newman will deliver to the plate. That will find the zone for a strike. That is a crucial strikeout for Will Rogers. His second on the day, and Champagne is sat down as Armando Briceño will step in with 2 outs and a runner on second.
Great job there. Will Rogers getting 1 out closer here to ending this inning in what started with that single, so could potentially get out of a little bit of a tough situation here with a runner on second. And now facing Briceño, who's 3 for 3 on the day with 2 doubles and a single. So he's had a very strong outing and brought his average all the way above 300.
Oh, yeah. He takes that first pitch for a ball. Next pitch is rifled into left field. It is carrying foul. Big break for the Wolverines. That was carrying down the left field line. I would not have been shocked if that went over the wall.
It was a very well hit
Yeah,
ball, and one of the
well
only
hit.
balls that we haven't really seen turn a little bit from left to right.
Yep.
If that would have gone left to right, that probably would have reached fair and hit the wall.
That would have
So
been off the wall, yeah.
would have been a really good hit there from Brasino. Fortunately for him, goes a little bit outside, and so it'll be a 1-1 count, and now Will Rogers will look to kind of reset a little bit here and take his time going into this third pitch of the at-bat.
So here comes the 1-1 pitch, and that'll be rifled up the middle. Timbrook trying to make the play. That'll be a base hit. And Newman will make the turn for home, and all of a sudden we have a tie ball game here at Ray Fisher Stadium. It's a 5-5 ball game, and Brasino 4 for 4. Have yourself a day at shortstop, and Armando Brasino for Long Beach State is fourth on the day.
And that one snuck just past Timbrook, too.
Yeah. I thought Timbrook had a chance to make a play on that one.
Yep.
Good piece of contact hitting from Brasino to rifle that back up the middle. So you'll see Cole Santander step in. Had a 2 RBI double earlier, so he is pivotal in this dirtbag comeback, as we have seen of late. So here comes the pitch from Rogers. That'll be, again, rifled off Rogers' leg into right field. Brasino will advance to third, so now there will be runners at the corners now for the Dirtbags, and check to see if Will Rogers' leg is okay. That was a rocket off the bat of Santander off the shin of Will Rogers on the mound. Couldn't have done anything to get out of the way of that one. So now there are runners at the corners now, as Jack Hammond will step in with 2 outs here in the top of the 8th.
And Jack Hammond 0 for 3 on the day. This would be a great time for him to open up his hitting for the Dirtbags. Could potentially get a leading run after they were down 5-2 at one point. So very big moment here for Hammond as he tries to open up some more scoring and potentially get a lead.
That first pitch by Rogers in the dirt, and he's quickly down 1-0. It's a big scoring opportunity for the Dirtbags. 2 outs, runners at the corners. Just the go-ahead run, just 90 feet away in Brasino as that next pitch finds the zone for a strike to even it up 1-1. Again, Jack Hammond has not seen too much success at the plate. 0 for 3 in this one, as that next pitch will not find the zone according to Blue behind the plate. I thought that was clearly in the zone.
Yeah, it was another great off-speed pitch by Will Rogers, but Blue didn't like the placement of that one, and so it'll fall 2-1. Kind of a crucial call there.
Yeah, that's a big call in this spot. So the 2-1 pitch by Rogers is on its way, and that'll find the zone for a strike to even it up 2-2 with 2 outs. 2 on, 2's all around. So Will Rogers checks the sign from the dugout. We'll check the wristband. Step onto the rubber. Check the runner at first. Will deliver, and that will miss the plate just outside to run the count full, 3-2. So this is a big spot for both teams. 3-2 count, 2 outs, runners at the corners for the Dirtbags in a tie ball game, 5-5 here in the top of the 8th. Runner goes on first. Hammond will ground that to Darnetti at first, who will fire that to Longo at first, and that is a big third out to retire the side for Will Rogers, and he gets out of the jam to keep things at a 5-5 ball game after the Dirtbags plate 1 at the top of the 8th.
And great job there by Will Rogers to, although he allowed that 1 run, able to contain it, not allow any more, and get that final ground out, and ultimately a great play by the infield and by Darnetti. But we'll see if Michigan can respond here, as now the game is all tied up.
Yep, so we will see the bottom of the Michigan order. We will see 7, 8, 9, Mac Timbrook, Kyle Darnetti, and Brock Leike due up next for the Wolverines, and Largo Espada still on the mound for the Dirtbags. Timbrook 1 for 3 in this one, looking to start something for the Wolverines in this tie ball game in the bottom of the 8th. See, and one thing to note about Mac Timbrook, who's had an excellent Big Ten stretch, he is batting .455 in conference play, which is second in the Big Ten. Just incredible numbers from him as Michigan has reached into Big Ten play. And he's raised his average within that stretch 120 points, which is incredible to see from Mac Timbrook, who did not have a phenomenal start to out-of-conference play, as well as this team really did not have a too hot of a start in out-of-conference play. But as they've gone into Big Ten play, they have won every single series in conference play. They've done some amazing things as well on the stretch. They broke back-to-back Big Ten champion Maryland's series winning streak that dated back to April of 21. So this team has done great things in Big Ten play, and they are looking for a series win here in this non-conference series right here in late April. So Larga Spada will pitch to Mac Timbrook, and that will hit Mac Timbrook, and he will take the free pass, and the Wolverines have a leadoff base runner here in the bottom of the 8th as they look to break the tie.
Yeah, interesting pitch there. It was very far inside. It kind of bounced off the foot of Mac Timbrook.
Yeah.
And we'll give him a base there, and a pretty crucial first pitch of that this inning here, is now we're reaching kind of the bottom of the Michigan lineup, although they haven't been super successful today. If we go back up to the top of Michigan's lineup, could potentially result in a couple runs and open up the scoring again for Michigan after it's been quite a few since they've touched the scoreboard.
So Darnetti due up. He shows bunt. Will pull back, but that'll fall into the zone for a strike. Interesting defensive alignment, as I saw the third baseman in Bersigno and third baseman in Borgonio switch. So they're switched against Darnetti for some reason. So Darnetti will show bunt. Will pull back as that falls outside of the zone for a ball to even it up 1-1. Still no outs, and Timbrook on first.
It seems like Bersigno is trying to make the effort to get in case there's a bunt here, as Darnetti's shown bunt on these first two pitches.
So he shows bunt again. That'll find the turf. Newman will fire that to first to keep the runner in Timbrook at bay, but to no success. He is still standing on first. It is a 3-0 count to Kyle Darnetti, and certainly Larga Spada did not want to open up this inning with two straight free passes, one on a hit by pitch to Timbrook and potentially a walk here to Darnetti. So here comes pitch. Timbrook will dart for second. Newman will throw, and he will be called out. Great throw by Newman behind the dish. And that's I believe his second runner caught stealing in this one.
Yeah.
So great throws from Newman behind the dish.
Been doing a great job of not only, he's caught two of these runners out. He's been doing a great job of making sure it doesn't get too far behind the plate. So overall, just a great day from catcher Newman here.
Yep. So Darnetti will walk on that one. So nonetheless, the Wolverines will have a runner on, as Brock Leike will step in with a runner on in Darnetti.
Interesting kind of movement there, though, as Timbrook would have had that base if he wouldn't have gone on that last pitch and gotten thrown out. Could have been a runner on first, on second, which would have been pretty much the exact same position they would be in right now. So instead, just a runner on first. So a less favorable position for Michigan with one out instead of no outs, and a runner on first instead of a runner on first and second. So
Leike will take the first pitch. That'll be grounded to Lopez, who has to make the play, and he will be called safe. Great speed by Leike to make the play. Lopez kind of had to wait back on it to let the runner in Darnetti pass, and that cost him. So again, runner on first and second for the Wolverines, as the lineup card will flip over and A.J. Garcia will step in, but that caught stealing at the hands of Timbrook looms larger, as the bases would have been loaded there if he was not caught stealing. So it would have been a great chance, or even better chance for the Wolverines to score, but this is still a great chance with two runners on, a runner in scoring position, Darnetti on second with one out, and you see the top of the order.
Yeah, and A.J. Garcia is definitely going to have to open up his hitting here a little bit. Was walked in his last appearance, but 0 for 3 on the day outside of that. So
that first pitch by Larga Spada will not find the zone. That'll be outside for a ball, and we will see Mitch Voigt on deck in place of Velasquez, and that's a great substitution for Tracy Smith. That next pitch will again be outside, and Largo Espada quickly down 2-0.
Yeah, Velasquez just kind of handed off his either his band or his something along his wrist to Mitch Voigt, so could potentially be a really big situation if AJ Garcia especially continues this, potentially gets a walk. You know, that would be a great position. If not, maybe a hit could do even more. But then if Mitch Voigt comes up to bat with 1 out for Michigan, it's a really great position for the Wolverines to be in.
Yeah, that's a great substitution from Tracy Smith. Velasquez, not that power guy. Watt certainly is. So after a quick mound visit between the battery, so we're at a 2-0 count with 1 out. Garcia will fly that into left center field. And miscommunication. Champagne cannot make the play. Darnetti, and the bases will be loaded. Miscommunication between the left field and Charpiot, and Champagne allowed the ball to fall right in between them. And the bases are now loaded with Mitch Voigt stepping up to the plate. So great hitting by Garcia to give the Wolverines an even better chance to break this tie.
This is just the exact position that Tracy Smith wants to be in right now. With bases loaded, makes the perfect substitution to get Mitch Voigt in as the 2-hitter where he's been pretty much all season long. And now has the chance, you know, a home run. That's the best case scenario.
That's the best case scenario.
But even a hit here will bring 1, potentially 2, and even a long hit could bring in 3. So
sacrifice fly. Anything in the outfield, we could score a run at least, break the tie.
Yep. So great position here for Mitch Voigt.
Yep. And you have Steven Hrustich up next. You have 1 out. So that ball gets away from Newman. Darnetti will take advantage and score. All the runners will advance. So Michigan breaks the tie off a wild pitch from Largo Espada, and got away from Newman. That's, I believe, the first defensive error from Newman that we've seen. He's been great behind the dish as far as his defensive abilities, but that plate's 1, and Michigan's up 6-5.
Yeah, just like that. I mean, we thought they needed Mitch Voigt in order to get a run in. All it took was a little wild pitch, and now Michigan regained the lead, and Mitch Voigt's still up to bat.
So Mitch Voigt will swing at that pitch, and he is now even 1-1. It's a decent crowd here at Ray Fisher, getting into it.
Really getting into it.
With Mitch Voigt at the plate, 2 on. Light Gieb at third, Garcia at second. That pitch is inside, and now the count runs 2-1.
And so now Mitch Voigt, with his average at 289 on the year, has a chance to really break away, as yesterday we saw the 8th inning was all it took for Michigan to really blow open a lead. Could be the same situation here.
So that pitch nearly hits Voigt. Now the count runs 3-1.
Largo Espada's now had 2 pitches kind of get away from him a little bit. That one almost hit Voigt, and then the first one allowed that run. So now at a 3-1 count, another ball, load the bases once again.
So here comes the pitch from Largo Espada, and that will not find the zone, and that is a walk from Mitch Voigt to load the bases up with the power threat, and Steven Hrustich walking towards the plate now. The 3-hole hitter. A bases loaded opportunity to expand this lead. So we will see a pinch runner in for Mitch Voigt. We will see Jonathan Kim come in, who recently came off injury.
Yeah, and Jonathan Kim yesterday came in as a pinch runner, actually came in as a pinch hitter as well. So he pinch run, stayed in the lineup, and then got his first hit back from injury. And so that was a really, really great situation for Jonathan Kim to be able to come back in and make his mark. Although when we talked to the assistant coach earlier today, you know, they didn't want to bring him in too early, just because, you know, they're going to really, really need him down in the stretch at the end of the season, especially in Big Ten play. So don't want anything crazy to happen. Don't want to jump the gun. Make sure that he stays healthy. But nonetheless, with Jonathan Kim coming in, you have some really quick base runners with AJ Garcia, Jonathan Kim, and then also Light Gieb all the way on third. So Hrustich, who again is the power hitter of this Michigan lineup, with those 12 doubles and 9 home runs, could potentially open up even more scoring for Michigan, as now Michigan has taken that lead 6-5 after that wild pitch.
So in that break, we saw the Dirtbags change hand on the mound. We see Nathan Morris, the junior, come out of the pen in this one to replace Larga Espada, who broke the tie and really got the Dirtbags into a jam. So Nathan Morris, the righty from Stockton, California, senior, stands at 6'4". Pitches a 3.2 ERA and 19 2/3 innings pitched. 21 strikeouts, only 10 walks so far in the season. So again, a reliable bullpen presence for the Dirtbags. Comes in a big spot with bases loaded and Steven Hrustich due up for the Wolverines.
And both Larga Espada and Morris kind of have similar statistics this season with around 20 pitches. Again, that 3.2 ERA might have changed a little bit for Larga Espada after allowing this run, but nonetheless, very, very similar pitchers, both really great relievers for Long Beach State, and the Dirtbags really aren't giving up on this one as, again, they've fallen behind by one run again in this game, but I mean, with the bases loaded here and one out, could be potentially way more, so Morris trying to preserve this.
Yep. So Morris looking to get out of the bases loaded jam with only one out, and you have Steven Hrustich, who's going to come up, the reliable power bat, as we've said, and then Colin Priest, who's had himself a great game, 2 for 4 in this one. So even if you get Hrustich out, you still have Priest as well you have to contend with. So this is the exact part of the order you want to see if you're a Wolverine fan, if you're the coaching staff. I mean, this could not have gone any better if you're Tracy Smith. I mean, loading the bases, putting Vaught on base, getting Kim into the game as well, which I know that was an objective, as you said.
Yep.
This is a perfect spot to put him in. Steven Hrustich will occupy the righty batter's box as Morris will take the first pitch. That'll be fouled back. It's an 0-1 count.
Huge cut there from Hrustich, and if he gets some good contact on one of these balls, it could be a completely different game, just like it was in the 8th yesterday. So Hrustich hoping he can bring some more runners in.
The next pitch will not find the zone to even it up 1-1. That was low, nearly into the turf. Hrustich patient despite the great position he's in with bases loaded, 1 out. Here comes the pitch from Morris. He will take that opposite field, foul. Solid contact, but just out of play.
And it looked like it had the distance too,
yeah,
but
would have had the distance.
Just like the rest of the balls that we've seen today go kind of in that corner. It's just hooking right, got the wind a little bit, and especially being this right-handed batter, it's going to hook a little bit that way.
So Morris will deliver, and that'll be ripped into center field. Champagne tracking, will make the play. Leitke will tag, and Garcia as well, so run will score, and Hrustich will come big with a sacrifice fly to score Leitke, and now runners at the corners for the Wolverines.
Yeah, great hit by Hrustich, just able to get it out kind of at about the 300-yard mark, and then pretty easy play there from Leitke, able to come in, bring in another run, extend the lead, but not only that, now with Priest up to bat, you have Garcia sitting at third, so potentially a single would bring him in, and then Jonathan Kim, if he's able to get around the bases, could be even more. So Colin Priest, who's 2 for 4 on the day, has the potential to go above 500 on the day and then also bring in some more runs.
Yep, this is still a tough out if you're Morris, as Colin Priest has had a solid day to play 2 for 4 as he takes a big cut at that one. He's quickly down 0-1. Certainly looked like he's swinging for the fences on that one.
Yeah, good off-speed pitch there from Morris to just get Priest ahead of it.
Here comes the pitch. That's out. Wow, that looked outside. Called strike by Blue behind the dish. And Priest is quickly down 0-2. I thought that was outside.
Yeah, that was definitely really, really close there. And so, interesting call. Falls behind 0-2 on the count.
So Priest will fire that into center field. Champagne camping under it. Will make the diving play for the out. Jonathan Kim and Garcia will still score nonetheless. Umpires looked like.
Did any of them make the call?
They didn't make the. I don't know. Champagne looked like he had it. I Tracy Smith is going to go to the booth for that one, and that's a great decision. I don't know if he caught that.
It looked like none of the umpires made the call. They were all kind of looking at each other. The Dirtbag defense all ran kind of towards that dugout, but no one really made any movement. And so now Colin Priest is just chilling at second, and after Jonathan Kim and AJ Garcia came in.
Well, good heads-up base running from Kim to keep going on that play, because that run would score.
Yep. And so it could potentially be a 2-run swing on just this one play that would make it 9-5, and Colin Priest standing at second with 2 outs. But, I mean, they're going to check the review just to see if he made this play. It would be a really, really great catch by Champagne, who kind of thought it was going to reach him, but then
I think
the wind might have killed it.
Wind killed that one in the air. I thought he had it, and then it surprised him, I guess. And so we'll see. The replay is being shown in the scoreboard. I can't tell.
Yeah, the camera's pretty far away.
I can't tell.
Unable to tell on this one, really, but I mean, I don't even know what the call was on the field. Although
I think the call was out on the field.
It seemed like all the fielders ran off. It was just kind of hard to tell which one made the call. So we'll see what Blue ends up calling here.
Yeah, great effort though from Champagne and center to catch up to that one and make the diving play. Should this stand, they're still looking at it in the replay booth, so we will see. We'll see what happens here. The Dirtbag defense still out in the field. Priest still standing on second. I would think that this call would stand.
Yeah.
Just because that's a hard angle and you don't know. There's not enough evidence to really overturn it.
Yeah, I agree.
That would be my bet.
Yeah.
But we will see. But nonetheless, great inning from the Wolverines to plate 2 to break the tie. It is a 7-5 ball game as we move into the top of the 9th. This would potentially be the last inning for the Wolverines.
And it'll be interesting to see if this is called out. The pitcher that they bring out could still be Will Rogers, but I also saw some action in the bullpen.
Looks like Will Rogers isn't ready in the dugout. He's just on the railing, and Denner is warming up. Yep. I would assume they go to Denner to close this one out in a save situation. They are still looking at this play in the replay booth, so this is a tough play. I think that's what it is. I think it's just a bang-bang play.
Yeah.
It's so close. So depending on the outcome of this call, could either keep this game in status quo 2 runs or makes a potential Dirtbag comeback much harder. So they come out, and it is stood. The call stands. It is out. And I would tend to agree. It seemed like there was not a substantial amount of evidence to overturn it.
Yeah, agreed. Engel couldn't quite get close enough to really find or make any big difference. And so now going into the top of the 9th, what could potentially be the last half inning, is a really big opportunity here for Michigan to close out this game. And the bottom of the 8th inning in both of these games has been a difference maker, as we will actually see Jacob Denner come out onto the mound for Michigan.
Jacob Denner comes in a save situation here, only up 2. So he would be tagged with the save should he keep things status quo.
And looking at Long Beach State, we have the top of the lineup coming up with Borgigno, Ashwood, and Sharpio. And all 3 have struggled a little bit today, with Borgigno again going 0 for 3, and then Ashwood and Sharpio each going 1 for 4. So if Denner can come in, find his groove pretty quickly, and then find the end of this game, that could be a really big opportunity and a big win for Michigan here on this Saturday of the weekend series.
So they're looking to secure the series win as well today.
Yep.
Jonathan Kim now is at center with Garcia moving to left, and then Jacob Denner now on the mound. And as I said earlier, the reigning Big Ten pitcher of the week, and had a very good performance last week. Had 2 wins, also tagged with the save through 9 innings pitched, 10 strikeouts, and only 2 earned runs during last week's stretch of games. So great performance on the mound from Denner. He's been a anchor, along with Kurt Barr as well, has
Yeah.
been the two big presence within the Wolverine pitching staff. So he will come in looking to end this game against the 1, 2, 3 of the Dirtbag lineup. As Ty Bourguignon will step in, and as you said, has struggled 0 for 3 in this one. But he will step in looking to start something on offense to potentially mount a comeback for Long Beach State. So Denner, the lefty, will deliver, and that will find the zone for a strike.
And although Bourguignon had the walk, it's 2 groundouts and a lineout that have ended his last 3 at-bats, so Denner looking to do the same thing.
That next pitch by Denner, that off-speed will find the zone for a strike, and he's quickly up 0-2. That off-speed certainly finding the zone with a lot of movement as well. So the 0-2 pitch, it's on its way. Bourguignon, that is flied out into short left field. Garcia will call off Darnetti for out number 1.
And Darnetti was there ready to make the play, but good call out by Garcia.
That's the second time Garcia's called off Darnetti.
Yeah, and Garcia, I think there definitely make the right call just because Darnetti might have been a little bit harder to go kind of over his shoulder a little bit, whereas Garcia was able to just find it right underneath him. So
it's easier to run up to a play like that than to look over your shoulder and run back to it. It's easier play for Garcia, so Darnetti has no problem being called off. So Kyle Ashworth will step in. Again, that first pitch by Denner will find the zone for a strike. That off speed certainly finding a home in the zone. And Denner looking effective early in this one. In this save opportunity. So the 0-1 pitch with 1 out is on its way. And that will again find the zone. And for a second straight time, Denner is up 0-2.
Really, really doing a great job of getting ahead of the count. And I mean, this 9th inning is seeming pretty effortless for him so far. And these curves and off-speed pitches are really paying dividends.
And that pitch will just miss the zone for a ball, 1-2 count. The Michigan faithful not too happy about that call. That was borderline either way. But nonetheless, Ashworth will stand in at a 1-2 count. Here's the pitch from Denner. He'll take a big cut at that one. A swing and a miss. And Ashworth is fanned for the second out of the inning. And Denner, 2 quick outs in the save situation, and Michigan's just 1 out away from securing a win against the Dirtbags today, as well as the series win. But they have to go against Connor Sharpio, who's 1 for 4 in this one. Had a double in the third, but was struck out in his last one. Denner, first pitch strike, 3 straight first pitch strikes from Jacob Denner, certainly making it look effortless on the mound. So he's up 0-1 with 2 outs. Here comes the pitch. That'll be flied out into the parking lot. Foul, and he's quickly up 0-2. Right into the parking at your own risk lot.
But just like that, I mean, Denner now has 3 straight batters at 0-2.
Yep.
And Sharpio, while he's the strongest batter on this Long Beach State lineup, is falling behind, and Denner has him exactly where he wants him. And the buzz around Ray Fisher Stadium here is really cheering him on.
Everyone on their feet, Michigan faithful. Here comes the pitch from Denner. That will just miss the zone. That is up for a ball to make it a 1-2 count with 2 outs. Nonetheless, the energy here at Ray Fisher Stadium still there. So Denner 1 pitch away from icing this game and securing a series win. Here's the pitch. Outside for a ball to even it up 2-2.
He went back to that off speed to see if that could work, and it ultimately just went a little bit outside of the zone. And so, while it's a 2-2 count now, I think Denner's still pretty confident.
Yeah.
Could potentially end the game here on this pitch.
So here comes the 2-2 pitch. And that is grounded to Longo at first, who will call off Denner, make the play himself, and that is ball game. The Wolverines come in with a 7-5 win and secure the series win against Long Beach State.
And again, on the back of another very strong 8th inning, just like it was yesterday. Yesterday had 10 runs. Today fell even 5-5 and then used that bottom of the 8th to climb back to win 7-5. And this one actually takes Michigan and puts them over 500.
Yep.
They're going to go to 22-21 on the season. And like you said, TJ, win the series. So they're sitting in a great spot today.
Yeah.
As Denner does a really good job getting that save. And ultimately just a really good all-around performance from the Michigan offense and Michigan defense.
Yeah, great showing from Michigan today, and didn't even need the bottom of the ninth. Your final in this one, 7-5 Michigan. Will Rogers is tagged with the win. Jonathan Largie-Espada is tagged with the loss, and Jacob Denner, his third save on the season, and truly made that last inning of work effortless. And with that, we'll run you through some of the offensive leaders, actually. Priest, 2 for 5 with a double and an RBI. Hrustich drove in a run off a sacrifice fly. Longo with a RBI single in this one, and Darnetti with a RBI double earlier in this one as well. And Michigan here secure the series win, and again, go to 500 on the season. And at one point this season, if you look at the early slate of games, that looked pretty improbable to happen this season. You know, after struggling early on this season against some very formidable Southern opponents, they've come into the Big Ten stretch of the schedule better than expected. And, you know, with this weird non-conference series, they've secured the series win at least and look for the sweep tomorrow.
Yep.
So with that, any last comments, Zach?
I mean, it should be a fun one tomorrow. Michigan taking this weekend is kind of a break from their conference play.
Yep.
Ultimately gets this series done and over with, again, 2 straight wins on Friday and Saturday. So ultimately, this is kind of exactly where Michigan wanted to be at this point in the series. And so looking forward to a fun one tomorrow.
Yep. So WCBN will have coverage of that game tomorrow. I believe first pitch is 1 o'clock tomorrow as Michigan looks to secure the series win. So again, your final in this one, Michigan 7, the Dirtbags of Long Beach State 5. And with that, I'm TJ Fossmeyer. Alongside me is Zach Edwards, and we will end, as we always do, with a good night and a go blue.